George Stadium in Spring on the north side of Houston. We come to you for this Week 1 showdown on Thursday Night Football presented by Texas Emergency Care Center as the 1-0 Deer Park Deer visit the 0-1 Spring Lions. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome high atop Leonard George Stadium here in Spring, along with Brent Moody and Terrell Branch. I'm Michael Silvers. Delighted to have you with us. Now for the Deer Park Deer, what a great performance last week, 29-6 to open up their 2012 campaign on the road. They defeated the Clear Lake Falcons 29-6. Their offense was a juggernaut. Their defense was smothering. And getting back to the offense, Brent Moody, Connor Means, junior quarterback in his first game in a Deer Park uniform, accounted for 4 of the touchdowns.
He came out and was feeling the nerves a little early in the game, but was able to reestablish himself in the second half and did an outstanding job. 3 touchdowns to the air, 1 on the ground. But in this game, they're really going to need to have somebody else contribute. They know they can go to Connor Means to carry the team. They need to have somebody else help them out. It's a long season.
Now for the Spring Lions, a 35-21 defeat at the hands of the Manville Mavericks. What a tough way to start a week 0 in the 2012 season for Sam Parker and his kids. Jarrell, they have a junior quarterback, was the District 13-5A newcomer last year. He's a junior, was a sophomore last season. Darius Lee Campbell, he's explosive.
Yeah, Michael. Darius Lee Campbell, he's in his second year starting. He was very awesome last week. 99 yards on the ground, scored a touchdown, but then had a costly fumble within the red zone. Whenever he has the ball in his hands, he can score at will. He is definitely the heartbeat of this team.
When we return, as we have a long way to go here at Leonard George Stadium, we will check in downstairs with the 4th member of our broadcast team, Chase Hernandez, and he'll be standing by with Chris Massey, the head coach of the Deer Park Deer. So stay tuned for that. We'll return after these messages here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Care Center. We're a licensed, freestanding emergency room, open 24 hours a day, every day. Whether it's a broken bone or chest pain, the doctors and staff at Texas Emergency Care Center specialize in emergency medicine. We're ready and waiting, so you don't have to. At Texas Emergency Care Center, you'll be seen in minutes. We're open 24/7 in Pearland, Cypress, and Atascocita. Find us online at txercare.com.
Fanatic? Open a Texans checking account with First Community Credit Union and you could win a trip to the big game in New Orleans. Just visit TexansChecking.com and open your account. Signing up is easy and free. You'll get a customized Texans debit card. And best of all, you could win a trip to New Orleans for the big game or other great prizes like trips to Texans road games and the 2013 draft in New York City. Be a Fanatic. Visit TexansChecking.com and sign up for your chance to win. First Community Credit Union, the official credit union of the Houston Texans.
Nestled in the comfort of the Texas Gulf Coast, Deer Park, Texas continues to prove why the birthplace of Texas is on everyone's mind. Voted best affordable suburb by the Bloomberg Business Week, Deer Park is home to many businesses and continues to grow in population and industry. With its close proximity to the Houston Ship Channel, Deer Park is home to many industrial leaders like Dow and Shell. Voted in the top 10 most affordable places to live by CNN Money, Deer Park lures many new residents year-round. These residents enjoy the comforts of many retail outlets, recreational locations, and historic sites like the Battleship Texas and San Jacinto Monument. And with a recognized school district that boasts award-winning athletic, culinary, and journalism programs, Deer Park continues to gain the attention of people nationwide. Come see what everyone's talking about and make your next visit to Texas a rebirthing experience in the birthplace of Texas. Don't worry, boots and jeans are optional. Work, stay, play, explore. That's Deer Park, Texas. Uniquely you.
It's a pregame show right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Chase Hernandez here with Deer Park head coach Chris Massey. Coach, starting the season off last week with a big win against Clear Lake. Just talk a little bit about that victory and what you saw in that game.
Well, it's always good to get a win no matter who you're playing against. And we felt coming out of the game defensively, we played a pretty good football game. We got some things we got to clean up. Penalties and turnovers are things that we got to get better at. We had too many mindless penalties, I called them last week, and a couple of the turnovers hurt us. But, you know, from an offensive standpoint, I thought we moved the ball pretty well for the most part. But, you know, we're still worried about or concerned about our young offensive line and how fast they can mature. And so it was a good confidence builder for them to get a win, and sure, we're going to need it this week because Spring's got some pretty good defensive football players. So
You brought in the two young quarterbacks in last week. Connor Means got the start for you, and then you brought in Caleb Martin, the senior. Both looked really well in their first game of the season. Connor getting to start his first game on varsity. Talk a little bit about his play last week as well as Caleb's.
Well, I thought they both did some good things. Connor, obviously, with the 3 touchdown throws and the 1 rushing touchdown, kind of stood out. Early, he was nervous, first varsity football game and starting at quarterback. And, he had a few nervous issues, but I think he settled down and ended up playing a very good football game. Caleb knows our offense very well. He's been in here 3 years now, and he knows our offense about as good as anybody on the team. So anytime he's in the game, he's going to do a good job managing our offense. And people forget a lot of times Connor, this is only his second year of high school football. He hurt his shoulder as a freshman, and he missed his whole freshman year. So he's still learning a little bit.
Going against the Spring Lions tonight, a team that faced Manville last week, a very good Manville team in that, and they hung in that ball game for most of it. They run the triple option, something that you really don't see much more in high school football or any football for that matter. How hard is it to prepare for that during the week, seeing as a lot of teams go with that spread offense now?
Well, it's tough, especially with a short week. And the thing about defending these guys is got to be discipline on defense. And, if you have a dive responsibility, you better be on the dive. And if you've got quarterback, you better be on the quarterback. And you can't be any of those things, well, I thought he handed it off or all that kind of stuff. You got to take care of your responsibilities. And with a short week, that makes it even tougher. So we'll have our hands full this week. They run that offense very well, and they got a lot of speed and get you out in space and cause problems. So we'll have to play well.
It's Coach Chris Massey of the Deer Park Deer. Join us here on the pregame show brought to you by McDonald's. Coach, best of luck tonight in your game.
Thank you very much.
Coach Chris Massey of the Deer Park Deer will come back and talk with Coach Sam Parker of the Spring Lions right here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Thinking of changing jobs, or you're an employer needing to hire personnel, then you need to talk with Metter Staffing Services. Metter Staffing has been in business for over 4 decades and is one of the largest staffing services in the Houston area, servicing a national market. Metter Staffing has specialists wanting to serve you in the areas of engineering, accounting, administrative support, industrial, IT, marketing, and many other job categories. They have 7 locations to serve your staffing needs. Call 713-941-0616 and they can direct you to the office nearest you. Metter Staffing on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Back here on the McDonald's pregame show here on Fox Sports Southwest. Chase Hernandez now joined by Sam Parker of the Spring Lions. Coach, last week you played a very good Manville football team to open up your season. Your team hung in that football game for most of that game, and then the fourth quarter kind of slipped away. Talk a little bit about that game, what you saw out of your team playing a very good football team.
Yeah, we were really excited about how the kids played. I hate when people say that the game slipped away. The game slipped away because we allowed it to. We fumbled late in the third quarter that we were fixing to go 21-21. So we control our own destiny. I take nothing away from Manville. They're a great football team, but we made a lot of mistakes that we can correct and obviously be very, very good.
Get the Deer Park Deer coming into tonight's game. They had a very nice win last week against the Clear Lake Falcons. What did you see on film this week? And it was a very short week with Labor Day being Monday for your kids. What did you see on film that you could take away, that you can really focus on what you can take from this game against Deer Park?
Well, just the reason that I scheduled them was that they're going to play good, sound, very disciplined football. And that's exactly what 13-5A is. After this game, we start district. And so I wanted to know exactly when this game is over, where we stand, how we stand going into our first district opponent.
That was going to lead me into my next question. Your district, one of the top ones in the state of Texas. Like you said, you're starting district next week. Talk a little bit about that, how it goes out throughout the season. You're scheduled 2 very good opponents to start the season. Like you said, a very good measurement of where your team's going to be after tonight's ball game. But talk a little bit about that district, how tough it is, and how you schedule these games to go into there.
Yeah, and in the past, I not that I didn't do it on purpose, but I didn't feel like after the end of the last pre-district season, I felt like I knew exactly where I was going into district. So I knew going into my preseason this year, I was going to schedule 2 opponents that I knew I was going to be ready. And if I wasn't, I was going to know exactly where my weaknesses were, because these 2 opponents would find them. Going into our district, this team we're going to play is identical. They're going to run the ball, they're going to play smash mouth football, and then they're going to hit boots and counters and things off of it to exploit weaknesses. So exactly what I wanted, exactly what we're going to see in our district is what we're going to see tonight.
Lastly, what are a couple of keys of victory for tonight against Deer Park?
Discipline. We've got to play disciplined football on both offense and defense, and we got to play for 48 minutes. We have yet, obviously, to put a 48-minute total football game together that is discipline. I believe that our kids are going to come out and do a great job and play a full game today.
It's Coach Sam Parker of the Spring Alliance joining us here on the McDonald's pregame show here on Fox Sports Southwest. Coach, best of luck tonight in the game.
Thank you very much.
It's Coach Sam Parker joining us. We'll take a quick break, come back, and see Michael, Brent, and Gerald in the booth as we get ready for Deer Park versus Spring right here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Following footage was captured at a local grocery store. This man just took money from his bank that wasn't in his account. Did you catch it? Let's see that again. There, he just got 10 cents back for every $10 or more purchase on his debit card, with cashback counts checking from Community Bank. Imagine a bank that actually pays you to use your debit card. Swipe all you can from your bank. Community Bank of Texas. Bank where you live.
Toss. So Deer Park will receive a 29-6 victory last week for the Deer over Clear Lake. Spring comes in licking their wounds after a 35-21 loss at the hands of Manville. Terrell Branch, Brent Moody, your keys to victory for tonight's game.
Oh, whichever team can come out and really establish good field position, force some 3 and outs, and maybe get some defensive turnovers, really going to be the team that can come away with this game tonight.
Yeah, Spring just needs to manage the ball well. They did a good job last week, and leaning on their quarterback, Darius Lee Campbell, they have a chance to win this game.
Deer Park last season went 10-2, made it 2 rounds deep in the postseason, but lost unceremoniously to the Pearland Oilers 47-7, while Spring haven't made the postseason since 2004 when they were eliminated back then by the Westside Wolves 36-15 in the by-district round. Josh Rutherford and Jacob Hickman back deep to receive. Deer Park in white, Spring in green. Kicking off for Spring is Ibar Ramirez. Ramirez, a right-footed kicker, 5 yards back from the 40. And this game is underway, and it'll go to Hickman on an end-over-end kick from the 6. Hickman to the 20. Open field, stays on his feet, keeps his balance out to the 45-yard line. A 39-yard return on the opening kickoff. And time now for your McDonald's starting lineups. For the 1-0 Deer Park Deer, the offensive coordinator is Nolan Patterson. Junior quarterback Connor Means leads the team out. He was 12 of 19 last week, 164 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns. He hit Eric Luna for 2 of those touchdown passes, nailed Hickman for an 8-yard score, and then ran for a 1-yard touchdown, which capped off a 6-play, 67-yard drive in the win 29-6 over Clear Lake. They begin out of the pistol, and on a play fake, it is Means who rolls to his right and will be in trouble and is sacked back at the 40. Chris Manuel, the inside linebacker on a blitz, brings down Means for a loss of 4. As we look at the McDonald's starting lineups for the Spring defense, under defensive coordinator Kurt Sloan. Seniors across the front with Eli Rodriguez, Daniel Lewis, and Wilbert Cretin. Linebacking core highlighted there by the sack executed by Chris Manuel, and a loss of 4 makes it second down for the Deer.
After that play, Means went over to Gano that he was out of position, that he should have picked up the pressure.
From the 40-yard line, 3-man front for the Lions. Means, short pass complete to Noah Cano, and Cano to the 43 will get 3 of those 4 yards lost back makes it 3rd down and long.
Spring Lions are really coming at Means right off the bat. They sent 2 linebackers on a blitz, but he did a good job of looking at his running back and dumping the ball off to him.
Spring last week in the loss to Manville gave up 471 yards of total offense, 368 of those yards credited to Manville quarterback Shane McCarley. Defense was a little suspect in the second half as they gave up 3 big plays for touchdowns. 3rd down and 11 from the 43. On a rollout is Means. Will throw on the run, too tall, inaccurate for Josh Rutherford, who was open inside the 45.
It looked like Means was on a totally different page on that play. It looks like he thought his receivers were going to go deep. Instead, they crossed and they stopped. And he had Josh Rutherford wide open, but they just looked like they were on 2 different pages right there.
Yeah, if Rutherford runs the route Means wanted him to run, he was still wide open. The route Rutherford did run, it was wide open, just need to get on the same page.
Back deep to receive for Spring are Chris Simmons and Freddie Woods. Zane Gonzalez out to punt it away. And a good defensive series to start here tonight at home. 2nd consecutive home game to start the 2012 season for the Spring Lions.
Yeah, Spring looked real strong going against this offensive line of Deer Park. Really putting a lot of pressure on Means to get rid of the ball. Hopefully they'll go on the sideline, make some adjustments, and come out for the second possession.
We'll get a chance to see Darius Lee Campbell, junior quarterback for Spring, District 13 5A newcomer just a season ago as a sophomore. So we wait to get back in play here. 10:18 remaining on the first quarter clock. A 3 and out for the offense of the Deer Park Deer. And Zane Gonzalez to execute his first punt of the night. End over end kick. And a bobble at the 26-yard line as Chris Simmons couldn't haul that one in, but Spring are able to recover. And they come out on offense on a 97-degree night here in Spring. Your McDonald's starting lineups for the Spring Lions. Junior quarterback Darius Lee Campbell, 7 of 16 through the air last week for 80 yards and an interception, completed under 44% of his passes in the loss to Manville, but carried the ball for 99 yards and a 3-yard touchdown on the game's final play. They begin with shotgun and split backs. Campbell threw for over 1,000 yards last year and rushed for 841 yards and 9 touchdowns. No wonder he got newcomer of the year. And he's going to throw it deep on the first play from scrimmage, and he throws incomplete. Was looking for Brendan Holst, senior wide receiver, up the right sideline.
Threw it to the outside. The wide receiver is going inside of the field.
A look at the Deer Park Deer starting defense. 2 seniors and a junior up front. Tristan Guerra, the nose guard, is the lone junior. Defense last week against Clear Lake allowed the Falcons to cross the 50-yard line into Deer territory only once when the outcome was in doubt. Second time they crossed the 50, they went on to score, although they were down 29-0. On a screen pass, it is complete. Across the 40, taken across, about to midfield. Dorland Dorcius. Pick up to the 50 of 24 yards.
CJ Babb with opportunity with a tackle for a loss, just didn't make the open field tackle, and a great move to pick up the extra yards and the first down.
Dorcius, a senior, scored the game's first touchdown last week against Manville on a 7-yard run. Had 1 reception last week for just 5 yards. And on the second play from scrimmage, a 24-yard pass play and a Spring first down. From the midfield stripe, a pass to the right side is complete. Able to hold on, he bobbled it. Brendan Holst inside the 30 of Deer territory on a 23-yard pass play.
That's such a hard pass to throw. I mean, he literally threw it across the field. Watch this throw. Just a beautiful strike out there.
And Holst is thinking about the yards after the catch and almost drops it. Did a great job to be able to maintain control and haul that one in.
Darius Lee Campbell threw for 8 touchdowns and 1 interception in 2011. His team with first down and 10 from the Deer 27-yard line. Here's a handoff to Xavier Jones, and that one is well scouted by the Deer Park Deer defense. Leading the way, the strong safety, junior Gunnar Herrera. No gain as Woods is able to get right back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great job of Gunnar Herrera to get through that offensive block to get in the backfield and reroute that back.
2nd down and 10. Lions will scrimmage from the Deer 27. Handoff straight ahead to Drevin Horton. Horton across the 25, taken down at the 23-yard line. 4 more yards picked up, but that brings up a 3rd down for the Lions.
Gain of 4 yards on the play.
First 3rd down here for Spring as Bunker Scruggs, middle linebacker, corrals the ball carrier, and Horton stopped for a 4-yard gain. Had 3 catches last week for 17 yards against the Mavericks from Manville in the 35-21 defeat.
It's amazing how, nowadays the spread offense, you call the plays and everybody looks down at their wristband. Everybody's on the same page. Practice, practice, practice.
3rd down and 6. 3-man front for the Deer in the game's first penalty marker.
Delay game.
Play of the game against the Lions is the call.
And that's a disadvantage of running a spread offense because you have to call the play in. You have to come, that you have the offensive coordinator in the booth, get it down to the field, then you have to throw out the signals. Everybody looks at their wristband from the offensive linemen to the receivers to the backs.
Delay of game called on Spring. And on 3rd and 12, Darius Lee Campbell will scramble through the middle. He's got a 1st down and more down to the Deer 9. A pickup of 14 yards. And a Lion 1st down on the 3rd down conversion.
DLC makes it look so easy as he weaves in and out of the Deer Park defense to go ahead and get that 1st down. He's so athletic and he sees the field so well.
1st down and goal in the red zone for the Lions. They'll scrimmage from the Deer 9, shotgun. And a handoff to Dorcius. Forced to bust it out to the right side. We have a flag down. Dorcius is out of bounds. Right now, let's go down to the field and check in with Chase Hernandez.
There is a flag on the play.
All right, looks like we have some audio trouble connecting with Chase. We'll check the marker down on the field, and we'll try to get back with Chase in just a moment.
They lost yards on the run. I believe they're going to call a hold also. Mike Atkins about to let us know.
2 yards on the play with a late holding against the Lions is the call.
Already 2 penalties in this series for Spring.
Deer Park did a great job of penetrating that line, getting in the backfield, because that was like more of a draw play. They were very patient on defense and was able to stretch it out towards the sideline, not giving them anywhere to go.
Spring were penalized 7 times for 50 yards last week in their season opener against Manville. Lined up in a slot. Top of your screen is Xavier Jones. Very top, Brendan Holst. 1st and goal from the 19 in Deer territory. Handoff, Dorcius, right side, across the 15. Dorcius to the 5. Touchdown.
Exact same play they ran that they got the holding call on last time, but the hole opened up over on the right side, and Dorcius with great field vision was able to turn it up and get into the end zone from 19 yards out.
I mean, just a huge hole, great block out there by his receivers, and then just the explosiveness to go ahead and get in the field and score a touchdown. Great job.
3rd rushing touchdown of the season for Dorland Dorcius. Had a 7-yard run last week and another touchdown run of 2 yards. Ramirez to make it 7-0 Spring. And the kick is good. 7:21 remaining in the first quarter. 7-0 Spring. This is Thursday Night Football on Fox Sports Southwest, presented by Texas Emergency Care Center.
Score is Spring Line 7.
State Farm's our accessibility.
Oh, yeah?
You can call us 24/7, get quotes online, start a claim with our smartphone app. You name it, we're here, anytime, anywhere, any way you want it.
That's the way I need it.
Any way you want it.
All night?
All night.
Every night?
Any way you want it.
That's the way I need it. We just had ourselves a little journey moment there.
Yep.
Salmon 83 in Fresno. Place was crawling with chicks. I gotta go.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
back here at George Stadium. Impressive first series for the Spring Lions after their defense forced Deer Park to go 3 and out. An impressive drive, Brent Moody, for the Spring Lions. They're up 7-0.
A 19-yard touchdown run by Dorsey as caps off a drive of 9 plays, 74 yards, 2 minutes and 54 seconds off the clock. The extra point attempt by Ramirez was good. That score coming with 7:21 left in the first quarter at 7-0 Spring.
Ramirez will kick it off. Fitzgerald and Hickman standing at their own 5. Short kick. Rutherford from the 11. Right side across the 30, and it's Ramirez who makes the tackle at the 37-yard line.
Well, once again, Spring's defense is going to have to come out here and make a stop. That's 2 times in a row that Deer Park's had excellent returns.
Let's get a chance, if we can, to check with Chase Hernandez, see what we got.
26 yards on the return.
Still can't hear him.
He is emphatically making points with his hand, though.
Right. Hey, you're doing a great job, though, buddy. Great job, Chase. Charles? I'm just kidding.
I was told he needed to turn his mic on. And it's on, according to him, down on the field. So the Deer will scrimmage now from the 37-yard line on this, their second offensive series. 7:15 to play in the first. And they start early. Looked like that was the tight end Colton Swaim on the left side of the offensive line. And the Deer will be penalized for the first time here tonight.
Joel, speaking of them letting us know about the penalty, did y'all catch the game last night? The replacement officials were having trouble figuring out the delay of game call. It was pretty hilarious.
I heard by all accounts they did a very good job.
They actually did a great job.
They got the call right. They just didn't get the hand signal right.
Now, Deer Park last week were penalized a dozen times for 120 yards, 4 of which were personal foul calls. Unnecessary penalties, as Chris Massey told Chase Hernandez during the McDonald's pregame show. So 1st and 15, and a handoff to Cano. And he is tackled in the backfield by senior outside linebacker Robert Whitaker back at the 27-yard line. That's a loss of 5.
The Deer really just had no chance on that play. Robert Whitaker did a great job of just getting upfield, getting flat, breaking down on the ball. It was a textbook tackle.
Cano had 102 yards rushing last week off of 19 carries against Clear Lake in the 29-6 Deer victory. Going backwards here in their second possession, 2nd down and 20. Shotgun for Means, 3 receivers deployed. Quick strike and a completion to Rutherford to the 33-yard line, a 6-yard reception.
That's one of those plays where it's a short little dump, but you have a long way to go. I'm surprised he didn't, sit back a little bit longer. He had enough time back there to try and find another open receiver, but it looked like, that was his easiest route right there.
Well, and it also seems like they're, Spring getting into the backfield pretty easy. The offensive line for Deer Park, very young, 1 senior, the rest are all juniors, not much experience on the line for Deer Park.
Connor Means has only played 2 years of high school football. His team faced with 3rd and 14. He waggles to his right. Throws on the run. Throws complete to Rutherford. A slight bobble, but he hauls it in and works himself inside Spring territory to the 47-yard line.
And what a job by Connor Means. He felt the pressure, got outside of the pocket. Pressure was still coming. He waited in there and found the open man, Rutherford, down the field and just hit him right in the numbers where he could catch it. And Means took a big hit after releasing that, but everybody's going to see that on film and have some more respect for this young quarterback.
That's a 20-yard pass play and a 3rd down conversion for the Deer.
First down for the Deer also.
Luna had a team-high 7 receptions. Eric Luna split out to the top of your screen, handoff to Cano, and he lost the football, and it is recovered by Whitaker. The Spring Lions have come up big here in their first 2 defensive series.
That's number 90 that got his hand in there. Paul Love stripping the ball.
Deer Park has been trying to stretch the ball out wide all night long, and that's just a play that's not working. They're going to have to throw that one out.
So the Lions will start on the 48-yard line here in Deer territory. A 3 and out they forced the Deer to go in their first offensive series here in possession number 2 on the offensive end. They force a fumble. Spring now an even in their turnover margin. They had 2 fumbles last week and an interception. Manville committed 2 giveaways. On a pump fake, it is Darius Lee Campbell. Decides to scramble, then throw too tall for Holst on the right side. Coverage supplied by John Lopez.
You almost think Campbell just should have tucked that one and ran. Had plenty of space over there on the right side. The intended receiver of that pass would have been an excellent position to block downfield for him.
And one thing you can tell, he has a lot of patience. You know, he surveyed the entire field. He went left to right. And you're right, Brent. I mean, he should have tucked it and ran. He's that athletic. He would have been one-on-one out there in the open field.
That brings up a second down for the Lions on the Deer 48. Handoff, Dorcius, this side. Breaks a tackle, 45. Woo! Down the sideline, making moves, then he loses the football. And it goes out of bounds. It'll retain, Spring will retain possession at the 31-yard line.
Dorcius is just too many moves down there on the sideline. Looked like he tricked himself and just outran the ball.
I mean, he did a good job of breaking that first tackle. Good second move, good juke to the outside. But
no one gets a hand on it.
31 actually got his hand on it. He barely tapped it. And that's one of the things. That's when you run as a running back. You always have to have the ball in the outside hand. It's one of those fundamental things that they teach you, as a youngster. And it's one of those things you have to practice. He knew he was going to come to that side. He's got to get the ball in the left hand.
7-0 Spring. They're driving. Clock started. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Dorcius out of the backfield in motion, joining a trips package now to the top of your screen. Darius Lee Campbell throws, and that one is almost picked off, and that should have been picked off by Vincent Vega, the senior outside linebacker, forced a fumble last week in the win over Clear Lake.
Oh, and just to continue on your thought of, you got to stick with the fundamentals, get that ball to the outside hand. Guys will get away with their athleticism on this level, but if you get caught up and start playing in college, if you're not getting that ball to the outside, somebody's going to be equally athletic as you, and they're going to get out there and strip that ball each time.
Man, Vincent Vega wants that play back. That's one of those you dream about as a linebacker. You drop back, ball comes to you, you catch that thing, run down the sideline, look, mama, look at me.
Second down and 10 from the Deer 30. Spring avoids disaster. And a handoff, Xavier Jones tripped up in the backfield. There's a flag down. Gunnar Herrera on the stop of Woods, but we'll check the penalty flag.
Looks like it's going to be holding on James Haley.
Exactly, it's holding on Haley, but a great job by Herrera to read that play and get in the backfield. That's the second or third time they've tried to run that play, and both times it was effective getting positive yards. Herrera not having any of it that time.
This defense has been very stingy at times, and they've been playing well. The offense has got to get it together, because if this defense continues to stay on the field, they're going to get exhausted, and Spring will wear them down.
The Deer have declined the penalty, so it is third down and 12 on the 32 for the Spring Lions, who lead 7-0.
Spring 1-1 on their third down conversions, excuse me.
Campbell out of the shotgun. Tucks and runs. He improvised and got a first down back in their last possession, and he's very close to first down yardage, but he is pulled down from behind, 2 yards shy of the first down stick. A 10-yard improv for Darius Lee Campbell.
Well, and he's close enough to go for it if they don't trust the kicking game.
And I would definitely go for it. I mean, your team is athletic enough where they can go ahead and get that first down.
Plus, they've looked really good defensively in the first 2 Deer Park series.
Right.
And we have a timeout that'll be taken by Spring. They'll discuss this 4th and 1, and when we return, it'll be 4th down and short for the Spring Lions.
Texas Emergency Care Center. We're a licensed, freestanding emergency room open 24 hours a day, every day. Whether it's a broken bone or chest pain, the doctors and staff at Texas Emergency Care Center specialize in emergency medicine. We're ready and waiting, so you don't have to. At Texas Emergency Care Center, you'll be seen in minutes. We're open 24/7 in Pearland, Cypress, and Atascocita. Find us online at txercare.com.
Qualified personnel to staff your organization. It's a difficult assignment in today's job market. If this is a challenge for you, then call Metter Staffing Services. They've been assisting Houston area employers for over 43 years in locating all types of personnel, ranging from entry-level administrative candidates to CEOs, and virtually every other job category to meet your employment needs. Join the Metter Staffing conversation online on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Call 713-941-0616 today. Metter Staffing. They know the people you need to know.
4th down and short. Handoff to Dorcius. Dorcius to the left side, tries to get to the edge, and he will tippy-toe along the sideline. And that'll be good enough for a Spring first down on the fourth down conversion. A gain of 7 for Dorcius.
7 yards on the play. His first.
Dorcius just does a good job of getting to the outside and then getting around that corner.
When it looked like there was a couple of guys from Deer Park that had the angle on him, just Dorcius picked the right little spot, right hole to bust through and picked up the necessary yards for the first down and more.
Dorcius is senior, rushed just short of 700 yards, 9 touchdowns last season. Spring went 4-6. This is year number 3 for Sam Parker, the head coach of the Spring Lions. On first down from the 15. Here's a handoff, a keeper for Darius Campbell-Lee, and he's in for the touchdown. 15 yards.
That's the quarterback, number 12, Darius Lee Campbell.
Stephen Garinger thought he had an easy one on that play. Tackled the running back, but Darius Lee Campbell just great fake, right up the middle, easy score, untouched.
Ibar Ramirez to give the Lions a 14-0 lead. Kick on the way, and the kick is good. With 3:46 remaining here in the first quarter, it is the Spring Lions 14 and the Deer Park Deer nothing. Back in a moment with the kickoff here on Thursday Night Football on Fox Sports Southwest, presented by Texas Emergency Care Center.
Nestled in the comfort of the Texas Gulf Coast, Deer Park, Texas continues to prove why the birthplace of Texas is on everyone's mind. Voted best affordable suburb by the Bloomberg Business Week, Deer Park is home to many businesses and continues to grow in population and industry. With its close proximity to the Houston Ship Channel, Deer Park is home to many industrial leaders like Dow and Shell. Voted in the top 10 most affordable places to live by CNN Money, Deer Park lures many new residents year-round. These residents enjoy the comforts of many retail outlets, recreational locations, and historic sites like the Battleship Texas and San Jacinto Monument. And with a recognized school district that boasts award-winning athletic, culinary, and journalism programs, Deer Park continues to gain the attention of people nationwide. Come see what everyone's talking about and make your next visit to Texas a rebirthing experience in the birthplace of Texas. Don't worry, boots and jeans are optional. Work, stay, play, explore. That's Deer Park, Texas. Uniquely you.
Coming up near the conclusion of tonight's game, we will select the Champion Chevrolet players of the game. Champion Chevrolet, who are you going to call? Call Champion Ibar Ramirez. We'll kick it off. A high kick from the 23, and taking a knee, one of the up men, Gerardo Marine. Let's go down to the field, Chase Hernandez.
Yeah, Michael, we talked before the game with defensive coordinator Coach Dan Swayman. I asked him, I was like, Coach, how are you going to stop this triple option from Spring? Well, so far we really haven't seen much triple option from these guys. They have completely spread it out, and I believe thrown Deer Park completely through a loop. So Coach Swayman, I know, is on the sidelines trying to do some stuff over there to kind of change things up on the defensive philosophy.
All right, very good, Chase. First and 10 for the Deer as they'll set up on the 23-yard line.
That's the worst starting field position for Deer Park. That pooch kick really helped, not allowing Deer Park to try to set up any return, but the defense for Spring has done so well, even with the large returns for Deer Park. They haven't really gone anywhere.
So far, Connor Means 3 of 4, 26 yards.
And when Connor Means has time, he looks good back there. Had a great play. It's so hard to run and throw the ball at the same time. I mean, he's running towards line of scrimmage, had a great first down throw, but he has to have the time to throw back there. If Deer Park, this offensive line, like you said, Brent, they are young, but if they allow Connor Means to sit back there, survey the field, go through all his progressions, they can really pick apart this Spring defense.
Spring defensively, we begin with 3 down defensive linemen, 5 in the box. Check it now, 6. Out of the pistol. And tripping down on the turf over his own feet, Nick Victor, Jr., running back behind Noah Cano. Loss of 4 back to the 24-yard line.
Loss of 4 yards on the play, brings up second down, 14 yards to go for Deer Park.
He just really had no chance. He came out of his stance, and he was kind of off balance a little bit. Looked like he had a little bit of running room out there. Got to get some of the jitters out.
Split out to the top of your screen, Kyle Lashesky. Bottom of your screen, Josh Rutherford. Second down and 14 for Deer Park. They scrimmage from their own 24. Means in trouble, escapes, throws. He wanted to throw it away. It landed in play. But again, that'll bring up another Deer third down as we check in with the latest drive summary for the Spring Lions.
15-yard touchdown run by Darius Lee Campbell caps off a drive of 7 plays, 48 yards, 1 minute and 34 seconds off the clock. The extra point attempt by Ramirez was good. That score coming with 3:46 left in the first. It's 14-0 Spring on top of Deer Park.
Not only, do the offensive line have to block, but the running backs have got to pick up these blitzes coming in. I mean, that was something he just had, it's about simply moving your feet sometimes, and you just get caught off guard by these athletic defensive players.
3rd and 14. On play action, a pass to the right side is complete to Eric Luna. Luna will be short of first down yardage at the 33 after a 9-yard pass play. And again, the Deer will be forced to punt.
And see, those are plays that, the route was cut off about 5 yards early, and as you call those plays up here in the in the booth, you want them to be past the stick always. So I'm kind of confused about why they ran all these routes that were so short.
Gonzalez is back to kick.
So Gonzalez will punt it away.
Back deep to Lions is Woods and Simmons.
Line of scrimmage set at the 32-yard line. Good snap back to Gonzalez, an end-over-end kick. And that one bobbled a little bit, but secured eventually by Chris Simmons at the 32-yard line. 35-yard punt for Gonzalez.
By number 3, Chris Simmons.
Well, when we were preparing for this game, we took a look at some of the quotes from Sam Parker after the Manville game. He scheduled Manville because he knew they were going to be good coming in, as they were the 4A Division I runners-up last year. We were there at Cowboy Stadium, saw them lose to Aledo. He said, we have a long way to go, but I'm excited where we are, and we're going to build on it. So far, scheduling Manville, and although coming out on the short end, has paid dividends here in the first quarter against Deer Park.
Yeah, most definitely. And you get to see, exactly how your team can handle a loss and then come into a game like this.
2:10 to go here in quarter number 1. And a handoff. New back in the game is Drevin Horton to the left side, but multiple flags fly. Tyler Brudafas is able to knock down Horton for minimal yardage, but again, we'll check the markers here.
Yeah, and sophomore Alex Woods is going to get whistled for the hold, which was unnecessary because Daniel Gallagher had already sealed that edge. That hold came way after the ball had gone past that yard line.
Call it an illegal block. Nonetheless, it'll be a 10-yard infraction called on Spring. That is their 3rd penalty. And we'll see where the lost yardage will drop them. But they haven't had a hard time moving the football against this Deer defense, which allowed only 131 total offensive yards last week in their win over Clear Lake. Loss of 10, 1st and 20.
And the thing is, the Deer Park defense, they can't, stay on the field all night long. This offense has really got to get something going so that they can have time to rest because they're really solid, especially running sideline to sideline.
Lining up in a slot to the bottom of your screen out of the backfield, Xavier Jones. Handoff. Nope. Keeper for Darius Lee Campbell, right side. Darius Lee Campbell out of bounds at the 40-yard line. 12-yard pickup for the junior quarterback.
He just seems effortlessly moving up the field when people are struggling to chase after him. Just so athletic. It looks like 44 has the angle on him, and he just outruns him.
It looks like everybody else is going in slow motion, and he's able to see the field so well. It's his vision.
Right. What did we say at the top of our program? How explosive he is. Already has a rushing touchdown. Rush for 12 yards there. Darius Lee Campbell, 4 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown. On 2nd and 7, pass over the middle, caught by Holst. He holds on and gets a first down at the 48-yard line. Hit on the play by senior cornerback John Lopez.
And that might be just one problem with his game. It seems like when he throws the ball, when he's throwing into coverage, he leaves the ball a little high, and he's going to get one of his receivers hurt. But excellent job for him to go up and get that ball and hold on to it.
That's the 7th first down here in the first quarter for Sam Parker and the offense.
Now, Brendan Holst, that's how you catch the ball. You catch it with your hands, unlike Victor Cruz last night on my fantasy football team.
My mistake. 8 first downs for this Lion offense here in the first quarter. And on 1st and 10, Handoff, left side, Woods. Has to reverse his field, and he's got running room. Woods across the 40, and the afterburners are on. Xavier Woods. Xavier Jones, I apologize, touchdown.
Pass number 5, Xavier Jones on the carry.
A 48-yard touchdown. And Springer off and running on all cylinders here in the first quarter.
I mean, just the quickness and explosiveness. Once he saw that hole, he knew he was gone. One person to beat, nobody in sight. Xavier Jones said, Dorlin and Darius, I can't let y'all have all the love. Let me get in here and do my thing.
Ibar Ramirez to make it 21-0. The kick is on its way, and it is good. 66 seconds remaining here in the first. 21-0 Spring on top of Deer Park.
Look, Fanatic. Open a Texans checking account with First Community Credit Union, and you could win a trip to the big game in New Orleans. Just visit TexansChecking.com and open your account. Signing up is easy and free. You'll get a customized Texans debit card. And best of all, you could win a trip to New Orleans for the big game or other great prizes like trips to Texans road games and the 2013 draft in New York City. Be a Fanatic. Visit TexansChecking.com and sign up for your chance to win. First Community Credit Union, the official credit union of the Houston Texans.
It's all spring here at Leonard George Stadium on a Week 1 Thursday night. Darkness falling over the stadium. Lights are on. And a squib kick by Ibar Ramirez. Taken by Jacob Hickman. Left side across the 40. Hickman to midfield. Can he be caught? Hickman will take it to the house. Touchdown. A 90-yard kickoff return for the Deer touchdown. Just what the doctor ordered.
Perfect timing by Hickman. What a great job just to go ahead and hit the hole as he braces off a tackle right there. Has one man to beat. Shakes off another tackle. That just shows his strength. And then he puts on the Jets. You're not going to get me. Oh!
Fantastic effort on special teams by Robert Whitaker. Just wasn't enough.
Just made a mistake trying to get up around the shoulder pads. When you're chasing somebody down, you got to dive and swipe the legs. Man, you're not going to get at somebody that way.
He was trying to grab whatever he could. Hickman put those burners on.
Josh Rutherford, check it. Extra point is good from Zane Gonzalez. Let's go down to the field and check in with Chase Hernandez.
Yeah, Michael, both here on the Deer Park sideline. When that group came off after that extra point by Spring, Coach Massey said, hey, keep the tempo up. There's still plenty of game to go along because all this defense isn't doing is just wrapping up, guys. Spring's just running through some of these tackles, and the defense is just not wrapping up. But that was a big-time play for Deer Park to go and get that touchdown right there. Now they have a little momentum on that side. The spirit's a little higher, so there's still a lot of game to go right here from George Stadium. So I would think that the Deer Park defense right here needs to get a big 3 and out. That way the offense can have some momentum going on their next drive.
But my question to you guys is, how do they get Spring to go 3 and out?
Well, the thing is that, number one, they're exhausted because they've been on the field for most of the first half. But what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to not let Spring break these huge holes in the middle. It's the middle that's their weakness. Sideline to sideline is not that bad, but the athleticism of these backs have been creating problems for them because they're just making it off the cuff. It's nothing that they're doing fundamentally to hit a hole or whatever. They're kind of creating their own holes and creating their own space, and that's been tough. The misdirection that these backs are giving Deer Park, that's the trouble that they're having.
Deer Park defense has been on the field for 5 minutes, 42 seconds so far in this first quarter.
And we have 2 drive summaries, well, 1 drive summary and 1 big play on the special teams.
50-yard touchdown run by Jones caps off a drive of 4 plays, 63 yards, 1 minute and 4 seconds off the clock. The extra point attempt by Ramirez was good. That score coming with 1:06 left in the first was 21-0 Spring on the ensuing kickoff. It is returned for a touchdown. That score coming with 54 seconds left in the first, 21-7 Spring on top of Deer Park.
And that kickoff from Zane Gonzalez goes out of bounds. So a penalty marker is thrown, and we'll see what Spring elect to do, either take the yardage or force Gonzalez to tee it up and re-kick.
And, sometimes the squid kick is, done strategically so that everybody can get downfield and whatever, but you don't ever want that ball to go out of bounds.
Now, obviously, we've seen what Darius Lee Campbell has been able to do some of his exploits here in the first quarter, but when you talk to him and you focus any attention on him, he's quick to deflect it to the senior class who he wants to help lead to a playoff. Remember, the last time Spring made the postseason was back in 2004. Lee Campbell was quoted as saying, "We have a great senior class that's working extremely hard on the field and in the weight room, and they are real hungry. We're all really hungry to take the next step and get to the playoffs, and the entire team really wants it, especially for these seniors because it's their last chance."
Well, he's moving along fast, isn't he?
That's the right thing to say, especially if those seniors are the guys in front of him protecting him.
That's right. And they begin on their own 30-yard line with a handoff to Dorcius, trying to get to the edge, and he'll be tackled from behind by Vincent Vega at the 30-yard line, so no gain on the play. Vega stopping Dorcius at the line of scrimmage.
There's times that Dorcius seems like he could cut it up. It looks like, I know it's supposed to be a stretch play, and because it's spread, he's able to pick a hole, but actually before he went to the outside, there was an opportunity to kind of cut in. That's one of those things as a back you have to try to recognize, but he's always bouncing it to the outside.
Gotta love the fact that Vincent Vega didn't give up. Missed the first tackle, got quickly back up on his feet, came back to tackle him from behind.
Well, and that's one thing that I've noticed from Deer Park. They are not a gang-tackling football team. Last week we saw Klein Collins. The entire team moved laterally, no cutback lanes. Deer Park, it seems like it's one guy trying to get to the ball carrier.
Perhaps the final play of the first quarter. Darius Lee Campbell, pocket collapses. He'll improvise to the left and will just eat it. Back at the 26-yard line, a loss of 4, and we have come to the end of the first quarter. Here from Leonard George Stadium in Spring with the score of the Spring Lions 21 to Deer Park Deer 7. We'll return with the start of the second quarter after these messages. This is Thursday Night Football on Fox Sports Southwest, presented by Texas Emergency Care Center.
Staffing Services has one of the largest temporary help divisions in the Houston area. Each week, the company pays over 2,000 temporaries, working on many and varied assignments. Metter Staffing can help your company when you have needs for your employees. Call us at 713-941-0616 to speak with one of our experienced staffing consultants who can assist you with your staffing challenges. That number is 713-941-0616. They now offer video resumes as a job-seeking tool. Ask about it today. Metter Staffing. They know the people you need to know.
Welcome back to Leonard George Stadium. 21-7 Spring on top of the Deer Park Deer. Third down and 13 for Spring as they'll scrimmage from their own 27. Screen pass, Xavier Jones scored on a 50-yard touchdown run. This time he'll be bottled up for a 2-yard loss as the Deer Park Deer defense equal to the task and get what they wanted to get after that kickoff return by a touchdown, a quick 3-and-out.
Yeah, excellent job by that Deer Park defense to go ahead and ride off that score. Sometimes that's all you need. They want a little help, and that's what they were able to get on that touchdown, and they did a great job there of stopping them 3-and-out.
Not only forcing the 3-and-out, but the Spring possession started on the 40 and has gone back to the 25. So not only forcing a 3-and-out, they pushed them back so Deer Park can get some better field position on this punt.
Ibar Ramirez to kick it off. Now keep in mind, in the first half last week, the Deer allowed basically nothing for Clear Lake. In fact, the Falcons were in the negative. In the first quarter, they allowed Spring 223 total yards. Punt by Ramirez will roll down to the 42-yard line. 33-yard punt for Ibar Ramirez. And the Deer with a chance here to cut the lead in half.
Yeah, great field position to start off on. Hopefully they can kind of on the sideline, they're able to kind of rejuvenate themselves, get their mind right, so that they can come out here and they just need to chip away at this defense. They don't need to look for the big score, look for the big hit or the big home run. Just chip away at this defense and see what you can do well.
The Deer will begin this possession on their own 42-yard line. 1:02 gone here from the second. They trail by 14. Handoff in the backfield. Nope. Good play fake, and Connor Means takes it up the middle to the 47-yard line as he picks up 5.
Yeah, great job by Means and the tailback selling the handoff, and Means holding on to it and going up the middle, picking up a few yards.
Senior defensive end Eli Rodriguez on the stop.
Actually going to pick up 5 yards on the carry.
Out to the 47-yard line.
Means did such a great job of sticking that ball in his breadbasket and just selling it all the way and reading whether or not to take it out or not.
They work out of the pistol here on 2nd down and 5. Handoff, and Cano loses a yard. Good penetration by the front of this Spring defense. Leading the way was Javonte Whitmire, backup defensive end to Wilbert Cretton, Whitmire's senior. A loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, and Cano just seemed to have much bigger holes to select from last year running the football for Deer Park.
Makes it 3rd down and 6. Inside 10 minutes to go. 21-7 Lions. Luna, big-time receiver, split to the bottom of your screen. 2 receivers in the lineup and a wingback. Pistol for Connor Means. And flags fly on a slant. Pass was almost intercepted.
It almost seemed like he tried to blow the play dead when he threw the flag.
Eric Luna, there is a flag on the play.
Offsides called on Spring. Pretty much a free play, and I believe Connor Means saw that. 4th penalty on Sam Parker's team here in the first half. Goes from 3rd down and 7 to 3rd down and 2.
It's going to move Deer Park into Spring territory for the first time in this game.
And I'd run the same little option, play that they ran earlier to get the first 5 yards, whether or not a little read where he can hand it off to the running back or he can keep it himself and run up the middle.
3rd down and a short 2. See what offensive coordinator Nolan Patterson dials up here. Handoff and more flags. This time it is Deer Park who start early, and they'll lose that 5 yards back.
Made by number 7, Willie Sykes for the Lions.
Mentally, you can't take yourself out the game. There's been a lot of penalties on the side of Deer Park, and it's just a lot of little things that are going on, but they've just really got to mentally be strong and mentally be tough. But, it's also, give it up for the Spring defense because of the fact that they're getting beat off the ball. Deer Park's getting beat off the ball and getting into the backfield and disrupting this offensive line, so therefore it's making them hesitate and jump and always think, okay, what I'm going to do, instead of focusing and just being naturally at their position.
So far, just 29 yards of offense for Deer Park in this first half. Throwing on the run, and a great catch is made by Rutherford down the sideline. No one will catch him. Josh Rutherford, touchdown. 54 yards.
His pass is complete to number 7, Josh Rutherford, and he's in for the score. That's a 54-yard passing play.
That was one of the best offensive plays they've had all night long, as he has a great fake up the middle. He rolls out, of course, running on the run again. He's a great thrower on the run, and Rutherford just did a great job looking that ball in and staying in bounds and then turning on those afterburners to go ahead and get into the end zone.
So far, the Deer Park Deer starting to mount that comeback. That 21-0 Spring lead has essentially evaporated.
And this is it breeds confidence on that sideline because they know, okay, Spring's not unbeatable. They're not these supermen that they seem like, in the first quarter.
And it really all started with Spring's inability to cover in the kicking game.
Extra point by Gonzalez is good. 9:21 left in the second. 21-14, Spring still on top of the Deer Park Deer. When we return, we'll have the kickoff here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Footage was captured at a local grocery store. This man just took money from his bank that wasn't in his account. Did you catch it? Let's see that again. There. He just got 10 cents back for every $10 or more purchase on his debit card with cashback counts checking from Community Bank. Imagine a bank that actually pays you to use your debit card. Swipe all you can from your bank. Community Bank of Texas. Bank where you live.
Seven-point lead for the Spring Lions. And they have cut the lead in half as we go downstairs, check in with Chase Hernandez.
Yeah, guys, it's just like I talked about last time you came down here. This Deer Park team, they got that touchdown. I said they need to go out on defense, get that 3 and out just like they did. And when they came back on this bench, Coach Dan Swain had his guys fired up down there, and it is a brand new Deer Park team. They are ready to go. This lead is pretty much evaporated like you guys have said. It's kind of reminded me of Rice and UCLA's game of last week when UCLA got out to a 19-0 lead. Rice came thundering back. They cut the lead in half. Obviously, UCLA came back and won it by a nice margin. But Deer Park now with a lot of momentum on their side with 9:21 left in this half.
It's such a comforting feeling to know that you can put some points on the board, especially when you couldn't move the ball at all in that first quarter.
Zane Gonzalez kicks it out of the back of the end zone. Again, new rule here in 2012. You see it in college. It is transitioned down to the high school level. Kickoff, touchbacks on kickoffs, the ball comes out to the 25. A touchback on a punt, the ball still comes out to the 20. Here's your drive summary.
54-yard touchdown pass from Means to Rutherford caps off a drive of 3 plays, 58 yards, 1 minute and 39 seconds off the clock. Extra point attempt by Gonzalez was good. That score coming with 9:21 left in the second quarter. It's 21-14, Spring on top of Deer Park.
Why have they decided to punish the kicker from kicking it out the end? You know, it's a pride thing.
Aren't they letting them kick from closer also?
No, sir. 35. Check it, 40. The Lions begin on their own 20. And on the option pitch to Dorcius across the 30. And then he is struck down by the combination of Tyler Butterfrass and Gunnar Herrera, but not after an 11-yard run for Dorcius and a Spring Lion first down, their 10th here in the first half.
Dorcius just has such a great job of moving his feet, making people miss. And that's one thing you have to break down on the ball. You can't look at his shoulders at all. You have to look at his belt, look at his waist, because all that movement will make you hesitate.
Coming down to the 9-minute mark here in the first half. And a slot to the top of your screen are Dorcius and Jones. Snap back to Darius Lee Campbell. Screen pass caught by Dorcius. Dorcius stays on his feet and is chopped down at the 45-yard line, maybe a yard short at the 44. And the tackle made by Vincent Vega on a 6-yard pass play. Check it, give him 8 yards on the pass play.
Yeah, Vega wrapped him up low, and Dorcius ran out of it, but good second effort by Vega was able to bring him down short of the first down.
Brent, you made a great point earlier about how Deer Park is not a gang tackling team. And every time that we see somebody spread out wide or anything like that, you only see one person out there.
You beat one guy and you've got a chance to get to the end zone. Like, there's no lateral movement. There's no team tackling philosophy.
Second down and 2. Keeper for Campbell.
Good job.
And Darius Lee Campbell into Deer territory inside the 45. Tackled at the 42-yard line.
Tackle made by Benavidez, and that's the best open field tackle I've seen from Deer Park so far. It looked like Campbell was about to break that one loose.
Great job by Lee Campbell to go ahead and not give that ball up and to keep that ball.
Solid 14-yard run for Darius Lee Campbell. 99 yards rushing on 21 carries last week and a touchdown. So far he's called his own number 5 times for 65 yards here in the first half as Spring begin to march down the field again. On first down, handoff, and Drevin Horton is bottled up at the line of scrimmage as he runs into the teeth of the Deer defense.
31.
Vincent Vega leading the way, along with Bunker Scruggs. Now loss of 2.
Deer Park did a great job. That defensive line of Deer Park did a great job of standing up the O-line of Spring so that the running back had nowhere to go. With this spread offense, it's just one of those things you have to pick a hole, and Deer Park did a good job at just filling them all.
Second down and 12. The Lions will scrimmage from the Deer 44. Keeper, Darius Lee Campbell with a huge hole, but there is a flag down. Darius Lee Campbell across the 20. Following blocks inside the 10. reaches down to the 7-yard line. As it stands, it's a 37-yard play. But again, I'll have to check the marker. Eric Benavides on the stop. And it's coming back.
Dorsey just saw the flag and started walking back. He knows that's on Spring.
Hey, Brent, it was really interesting what you said about how Deer Park is not gang tackling tonight, because last week against Clear Lake, we saw a lot of that as we covered their game on the Legacy Sports Network. It's just a completely different defense that we are seeing tonight from this Deer Park team, because they are known over the years for being around the football, get after the balls, what the mentality has been at Deer Park since Coach Chris Massey's been here. But give these Spring Lions a lot of credit. They are running through a lot of these tackles and creating space where there's only one defender in the area.
Chris Massey began his tenure at Deer Park High School back in 2004 after winning a state championship as the offensive coordinator for the Katy Tigers in a come-from-behind 16-15 win over South Lake Carroll in the Alamo Dome. 2nd down and 22 for the Lions in their own half of the field. They scrimmage from their own 46. Handoff, Dorcius. He goes nowhere. In fact, he loses a handful of yards. Senior defensive end Stephen Geringer on the tackle, lost back to the 39.
Well, it almost seems like the Deer Park Deer have heard me, because ever since making that statement, it seems like they're meeting at the ball.
So 7 yards on the play brings up 3rd down.
3rd down and long. In order for Spring to get a new set of downs, they must reach the Deer 32-yard line. And you see where the ball is placed on the Spring 39. Coming down to 6:15 remaining. Here in quarter number 2, 21-14 Lions. Out of the shotgun. Campbell waggles to his right, throws short, throws incomplete to Holst. And the Deer defense hold again, and they'll get the ball back on offense with a chance to tie it up.
I saw a lot of great things on defense there from the Deer Park Deer. Standing up the offensive line. The defensive backs did a great job of getting back and keeping the receivers in front of them so that Darius Lee Campbell had nowhere to throw. Great job by Deer Park to get back in this game.
Well, it seems like there's been a change in the play calling early in the first quarter. Spring was really switching it up. They go to the air, go to the ground. They've been strictly on the ground here in the second quarter, except for in that last opportunity where it was strictly nothing but a passing down.
Hunter Sink, Zach Pajula, back deep to receive, and not the best punt from Ramirez. It bounces at the 40 and marked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. 25-yard punt for Ramirez.
This is definitely a great opportunity for Deer Park to tie this thing up. Confidence should be soaring right now.
Coming up on the Champion Chevrolet halftime show, we'll recap the first half, plus look at finals and games currently in progress. Plus, we'll have the Legacy Sports Network's Tim Culp on to discuss the first half and the Deer Park Chamber of Commerce. It's all coming up next on the Champion Chevrolet halftime show.
And say go for it all here. See if you can't get Luna down the field.
The Deer will scrimmage from their own 38-yard line. Handoff. This is Cano. And Cano, not much to work with on the short side of the field. Ran out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Just a gain of 2.
Spring did a good job of getting off blocks. Those receivers were unable to hold their block on the corners. And also it's harder when you run, a sprint play like that to the short side of the field. It doesn't give the running back much options, doesn't give the receivers a fair chance to really block anyone downfield.
Last week, the Deer amassed 328 total offensive yards, 116 of those on the ground, and 102 of those belonging to Cano. Had 73 rushing yards in limited action in 2011. On 2nd down and 8, a rollout, and a pass is too deep for Luna, who had his cover man beat. Cover supplied by Braylon Alexander, a junior in the defensive secondary. 3rd down and long, facing Deer Park here to come in.
And that's
go ahead. It just seems to me that Rutherford and Means are on the same page more so than Luna and Means. That's the 2nd or 3rd time Luna's been wide open down the field, and Means has just well overshot him. But when he throws to Rutherford, he's got him right in the numbers.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays that you have to keep in your back pocket. I would come out and run the same exact thing in a different formation, but just to the other side of the field, because he had his man beat the entire way.
Kyle Lecheski checks into the lineup, split out to the bottom of your screen. Out of the pistol on 3rd down and 8 for Deer Park. Means steps up in the pocket, tucks and runs and looking for blocks. Out of bounds at the 40. Well short of first down yardage on a gain of 2. Angled out by Traymon Ray and Braylon Alexander.
Number 4, T-Ray. For the Lions, gain of 3 yards.
So 2 of 5 on third down conversions for Deer Park, and they're going to have to punt this one away. But with a good punt and the way that their defense has been playing lately, they can maybe get some good field position if they can pin Spring deep in their own territory.
Gonzalez is in the punt.
Freddie Woods
Dorcius
and Xavier Jones will drop back deep to receive this punt from Zane Gonzalez. Beautiful kick. And it is Woods, and he holds on, completely plastered at the 24-yard line. Vincent Vega leading the way on special teams.
And as a punt returner, that's where you want to be able to have some type of awareness of, okay, do I need to call fair catch? In that case, yes. Yes, please. That's how you get hurt.
When he's on his side of the field, you've got to think somebody on the sideline at least is yelling, hey, fair catch.
Yeah, but nobody ever tells anybody a fair catch because you never know. An athlete is an athlete, you know what I mean? But that's where the awareness comes in, and you have to put that football sense in play. But, you can definitely get hurt if you're not calling fair catch and you see a guy running full speed at you.
43-yard punt for Zane Gonzalez, no return for Freddie Woods. 1st and 10 for Spring on their own 25. Handoff, Horton tries to attack the middle of the field and will start to be pushed back by Tyler Butterfrass and Bunker Scruggs.
Deer Park has done a great job in the middle of the field of not allowing Spring to penetrate or create any holes. This is like a totally different defense that we're seeing right now.
And it's a totally different offense we're seeing from Spring. They've really gone away from going to the air, and it looks like Deer Park knows it. They're not even concerned with Spring going to the air. I think you have to stretch the field a little.
Xavier Jones to the top of your screen in a slot left. Dorcius in a slot right in a 4-receiver package. Play fake, throw to Jones. And Xavier Jones makes one-man miss. 3 more yards to the 32-yard line on that pass play.
Number 5, Xavier Jones.
That's one play I never really ever understood. I'm not going to lie to you. You have a receiver, they just really stand out there, they wait for the ball, but then it's like 5 people already out there all the time. He has nowhere to go, he has to make a move. You have about 5 guys running at him. He's going to get 1 or 2 yards maybe?
Well, when it works right and you get your blocks set up, it works.
But it rarely works.
Most times you see 2-3 yards.
3rd down and 3, handoff, Dorcius right side for first down yardage and more. Dorcius across the 45 and pulls tacklers to the 50. An 18-yard scamper for Dorland Dorcius. John Lopez leading the way along with Vincent Vega defensively for Deer Park.
But it just seemed like Dorcius got tired of waiting for 23 to pick up his block. He gets out there real early and he gets impatient, just outruns his blocker. His blocker's got to get up there and hit somebody. He gets 5 or 6 more yards on that carry.
And that's one of those extra blocks. All it takes is one for him to spring and actually sprint off for a touchdown.
12th first down of the game for Spring.
Inside 3:45 to play here in the first half. 21-14 Spring. 1st and 10 from midfield. Darius Campbell-Lee throws on a slant, and that one is complete. Finds James Haley inside the Deer 40. Good enough for a first down on a 12-yard reception. Alex Haley's 2nd catch of the season. Junior caught a pass last week in the loss to Manville for 4 yards.
He does a great job of just dropping back. He stands so straight up in the pocket. He's always looking to throw. The receivers have done a great job with their hands. They're not letting the ball get away from him. But, Brent, you're right. The balls are kind of high when he's throwing it. But they're doing a great job of snagging them out the sky.
Darius Lee Campbell, 7 for 11. 95 yards here in the first half. 1st and 10. The Lions will scrimmage from the Deer 39. Keeper all the way for Darius Lee Campbell. Can't escape the grasp of Stephen Geringer. Lost back to the 43 of 4 yards.
Geringer just got enough of him to bring him down. As if he gets out of that tackle, there's all kinds of space to the left side of the field.
Yeah, Deer Park did a great job of closing off those cutback lanes on that play, and that's something that Spring has taken advantage of, especially in that first quarter. Deer Park was giving them the cutback lane all day long, but they made those proper adjustments and did a great job there, stopping a real strong athlete.
10 on the play clock, 2nd down and 14 for the Lions. Woods comes in motion, handoff to him, and he is
Good
tripped
tackle.
up. Great penetration by Tim Espinoza, junior outside linebacker. Recovered a fumble in the win last week over Clear Lake, and he tackles Jones for a loss back to the 48-yard line. That is a 5-yard loss.
On that play worked once in the first quarter, and they picked up a first down off it. Since then, they've ran it 3 more times, and each time they've gone backwards.
19 yards to go.
Start wondering when Deer Park may call a timeout to try to preserve some clock. We're inside the final 2 minutes here in the first half. Champion Chevrolet halftime show is coming up next. 3rd down and 19 for the Lions on the Deer 48-yard line. 4 receivers in the lineup. Woods comes in motion this side. Play action pass for Darius Lee Campbell. Lost one over the middle, out of the reach of Dorland Dorcius.
Dorland Dorcius. That's a catchable ball.
He's got to turn his hands the other
right,
way.
That's right. And it's just one of those things that if that was a receiver, I'm sure he probably would have caught it.
Trying to catch it over his shoulder like this. If he turns and shows his numbers to his quarterback, he can catch it up top, but he's trying to catch it over his shoulders.
Pass had a little zip behind it too.
Spring now 2 of 6 on 3rd down attempts, and they're going to go ahead and punt the ball away here.
I really like the way Darius Lee Campbell stands back there, has his feet moving. He's able to survey the field, stands tall in the pocket, never looking just to take off and run. I love it.
A rolling snap back to the punter, Ramirez. And all things told, he's able to muster a decent punt that'll be downed at the 23-yard line. A 29-yard punt for Ibar Ramirez. And again on the Champion Chevrolet halftime show, we'll have a special guest, Tim Culp of the Legacy Sports Network. Chase Hernandez down the field knows him well. He'll be up to talk about the Deer Park Deer and what he saw last week, what he's seen here in the first half, and also talk about the Deer Park Chamber of Commerce. It's all straight ahead on the Champion Chevrolet halftime show as the Deer set up shop on their own 23-yard line. They trail 21-14. Means airs it out up top, and he's got Rutherford.
Oh!
And Rutherford just can't bring it in.
Such a pretty play. Such a pretty play. And
you wouldn't know it by your reaction.
And you expected, I expected them to go deep the entire time, and so I was waiting for it. When I saw it, I got excited. And the ball, it looks like it was right there. He was so wide open. And just out. It looks like he actually lost it in the lights, maybe.
Let's see what I was saying earlier. When he throws to Luna, he overshoots Luna by 8 yards. That ball was just out of the reach of Rutherford. They just seem to be more in sync as a quarterback-wide receiver pair when Luna was the top receiver last season for Deer Park.
2nd down and 10 with $1:18 remaining in the first half. 5 receivers. Here's Means on a keeper. Tries to stretch it to the right side and get to the edge, then cut up field. They'll muster the line of scrimmage. That is all. 3rd down and 10 coming up.
Stop number 61, Elijah Rodriguez for the Lions.
Hey guys, I guarantee it, that deep pass later in this ball game is going to be wide open for Deer Park because Rutherford and Luna are getting past this secondary a numerous amount of times now. So if Means can just get a little more air into that ball, it could be 6 later in this game.
And we have a flag down thrown by our head official, Mike Atkinson, and his umpire, Bill Stevens. False start. Talked about the penalties that occurred last week in Deer Park's win over Clear Lake. Over 100 yards in penalties, 4 personal fouls. 3 penalties here in the first half, all for 5 yards.
Yeah, they have a lot of penalties, but I'm glad there's no personal fouls this time around. I'm sure Coach really dug into them all week long about those personal fouls.
Well, as he said when he was talking with Chase Hernandez back in the pregame show, mindless. Mindless penalties. Clock continuing to move, 33 seconds to go on 3rd and 14. Handoff to Cano, and Cano to the 34. Check it, the 24. Gain of 5 and a timeout.
23, Noah Cano is the ball carrier. On the stop,
So
number
2 of
9,
6 in the first half for Deer Park on 3rd downs.
Charlie Cook.
Would you have run it there?
Gain of 6 yards on the play. Brings up 4th down.
All right, timeout Spring. Let's step aside. 21-14 Lions here at George Stadium.
Nestled in the comfort of the Texas Gulf Coast, Deer Park, Texas continues to prove
bigger, No, bigger still. It's good to be king. This fall, experience king-size dining, shopping, merriment, and more at the Texas Renaissance Festival. Discount tickets are on sale now at Randall's, Walgreens, Wood Forest National Bank, and online at TexRenFest.com. The Texas Renaissance Festival. Choose your own adventure.
Punt here, and we've got more flags.
There's a flag on the play.
This one will be on Deer Park again. Starting early.
Oh, boy.
4 false starts committed by the Deer in this first half. They trail 21-14. Upcoming the Champion Chevrolet halftime show. Recap the first half and talk with Tim Culp of the Legacy Sports Network and the Deer Park Chamber of Commerce. And straight ahead here on the Champion Chevrolet halftime show. High punt by Gonzalez. Freddie Woods with a fair catch at the 46-yard line, a 29-yard punt.
One thing Coach Massey's going to talk about when he goes into halftime is going to talk about how the Deer have been beating themselves. I mean, these penalties that they've been getting, they're just kind of lack of mental focus. And they're just small little things that they can definitely go in the locker room, adjust, come back. Because really, they've been doing a great job of getting down the field, great job of getting behind those defensive backs. It's just one of those little bitty things. It's just little bitty things that will get them over the hump. And they're in this ball game. I love the tenacity of the Deer Park team right now.
Darius Lee Campbell started playing the position of quarterback at age 8. And on first down, he will throw it deep. Dorcius is there, but the pass comes up short and actually is kicked off the heel of the cover man. That stops the clock. 8 seconds to go. Gunnar Herrera deep on the coverage along with John Lopez.
He did a good job of stepping up in the pocket and throwing it down the field, but it looked like Dorcius just kind of caught it a little late. He couldn't stop his momentum and come back to that ball.
And just seemed like a little too much touch on the ball. Dorcius just outran it.
21-14 Spring with 8 seconds to go. Second down and 10 from their own 46. Good timing off the edge by the defensive end and a handoff to Horton. First down yardage, and that will bring us to the end of the first half.
Number 22, Vincent Vega.
Gain of 15 yards on the play for Horton. First down.
There was a timeout called, and we have 1 second left.
Well, what can we do with 1 second? One more play. And we asked this last week when we did the Cy Woods Klein Collins game late in the first half. What do you elect to do? You have the ball here on the 37-yard line, 38-yard line. Take a shot against the wind to the end zone, throw it short, see if something works downfield blocking-wise.
I wouldn't mind seeing a screen play myself. Dump it to Dorius.
Spring Lions with 2 offensive coordinators discussing things, Jess Lanier and Dustin Watson.
Or Dorsey, excuse me.
And if you're the Deer, play prevent defense, don't allow anything behind you.
And that's why you kind of, you run like a little screen, from around the line of scrimmage and then let them work. Let Dorland or Xavier, I'm sure Xavier wants a little piece. It's amazing. They have a lot of athletic backs in that backfield with Dorland, Dorcius, Xavier Jones, Darius Lee Campbell.
First and 10, the first half's final play. Campbell under pressure. Keeps it himself and is tackled by Butterfrass at the 36-yard line, a 2-yard run to wrap up the first half, which has seen the Spring Lions go out in front 21-0, but the Deer scoring 15 unanswered.
Nestled in the comfort of the Texas Gulf Coast, Deer Park, Texas continues to prove why the birthplace of Texas is on everyone's mind. Voted best affordable suburb by the Bloomberg Business Week, Deer Park is home to many businesses and continues to grow in population and industry. With its close proximity to the Houston Ship Channel, Deer Park is home to many industrial leaders like Dow and Shell. Voted in the top 10 most affordable places to live by CNN Money, Deer Park lures many new residents year-round. These residents enjoy the comforts of many retail outlets, recreational locations, and historic sites like the Battleship Texas and San Jacinto Monument. And with a recognized school district that boasts award-winning athletic, culinary, and journalism programs, Deer Park continues to gain the attention of people nationwide. Come see what everyone's talking about and make your next visit to Texas a rebirthing experience in the birthplace of Texas. Don't worry, boots and jeans are optional. Work, stay, play, explore. That's Deer Park, Texas. Uniquely you.
When it just can't wait, come to Texas Emergency Care Center. We're a licensed, freestanding emergency room open 24 hours a day, every day. Whether it's a broken bone or chest pain, the doctors and staff at Texas Emergency Care Center specialize in emergency medicine. We're ready and waiting, so you don't have to. At Texas Emergency Care Center, you'll be seen in minutes. We're open 24/7 in Pearland, Cypress, and Atascocita. Find us online at txercare.com.
Big dog. Listen, son, your 20s, gosh, they could be such a magical time.
Wait, what? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Kevin.
Keisha, you made my car insurance super easy to understand. What are they talking about?
They're kicking you out.
What?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there with a walk-in closet.
But I just graduated.
A dojo.
Son. Gross.
I'll help you pack.
Agents make insurance easier. Get to a better state. State.
Fanatic? Open a Texans checking account with First Community Credit Union and you could win a trip to the big game in New Orleans. Just visit TexansChecking.com and open your account. Signing up is easy and free. You'll get a customized Texans debit card. And best of all, you could win a trip to New Orleans for the big game or other great prizes like trips to Texans road games and the 2013 draft in New York City. Be a Fanatic. Visit TexansChecking.com and sign up for your chance to win. First Community Credit Union, the official credit union of the Houston Texans.
Starts to sweat. Welcome into the Champion Chevrolet halftime show here at Leonard George Stadium. We're high atop this building, and it's a 21-14 spring lead over Deer Park. Michael Silver's here alongside Tim Culp, one of Legacy Sports Network's own and the president of the City of Deer Park and the Deer Park Chamber. First off, your impressions on the first half.
Well, it's been interesting. Deer Park started off with a slow start, and but once we kind of settled in, we get the run back, so that helped, kind of boosted their morale a little bit, and then just some missed opportunities for the biggest part of the night. You know, we had some shots that off the fingertips. We give up the fumble, which gives them an easy score, and but defense kind of settles in, holds them out here, and holds that score to 21-14 at the half.
And good teams like Spring will make you pay when you commit a giveaway.
Absolutely, they'll definitely make you pay, and that's what what happened early on, and they were able to jump on us quick. But I was just proud of our guys to hold their composure and be able to stay in and play a good ball game and play a good defense.
Now, they were able to cut the lead to 21-14. What do you think changed defensively for the Deer after they gave up that 21-point start?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they just settled down. Matter of fact, I was sitting on the Deer Park side, and so I could kind of hear some of the coaching that was taking place over there. And that was one of the things that the coaches were saying. They were saying, look, settle down, calm down, hold your positions, watch that, read that zone read real well, take your time. The biggest thing is they were saying, you got to tackle, fellas. They were getting onto them pretty heavy about you're not tackling, you're trying to arm tackle, you're not laying that leather where you need to lay that leather, and they were slipping away from them. So get back to the basics and do good form tackles and stop that run.
And I guess the silver lining when you take a look at a 21-0 lead is that it all happened in the first quarter, so you have plenty of time. You don't have to get it all early. You can pace yourself.
Absolutely. Again, take your time. The one thing that I like to see on the offensive side of the ball was the fact that we got Connor moving outside some, letting him move in that pocket where he's just not having to stay and let those guys come to him and forcing that young offensive line that Deer Park has, forcing them to hold those blocks for that length of time. That way, let him move in that backfield a little bit.
Britt Moody and Jarrell Branch during the first half were talking about how it seems that Connor has some sort of a rhythm established with Josh Rutherford, but when it comes to the other receivers, passes are a little off target right now.
Just a little off target, but I tell you what I think I'm anxious to see this second half is see how he and Luna connect. Don't be surprised if you see him start going back to Luna more in the second half, getting away from Rutherford a little bit, because they very well may try to key on Rutherford more. So watch for Luna to get involved in this ball game.
Now last week the Deer held Clear Lake to negative yardage in the first half. They have an option offense as well. The zone reads a little bit different, but at the same time, why do you think Spring were having so much success just schematically and tactically instead of just the Deer needing to settle down? What was it on the field tactically that Spring were doing?
Well, I think the biggest thing that you see with Spring is, to be honest with you, from what I've noticed, is Spring's faster than what Clear Lake was last week. They're just physically and technically they're a more sound ball club, to be quite frank about it, and with that their ability to move the ball as his plays are. Campbell is an outstanding quarterback. He's doing a really good job, and he'll make you pay. If you misread, you're going to pay for it.
Now, this is your first season covering the Deer Park Deer as a color commentator for the Legacy Sports Network. Last week was your debut with the Clear Lake game. How'd you enjoy yourself?
Absolutely enjoyed it. I tell you what, I love the entire Legacy Sports group and getting to meet you guys and work with some of y'all and Chase and our bunch. We're having a lot of fun, and we're just excited about it. And so for me, coming from a small town and being on radio for several years, the ability to be able to get in here and do what Legacy is trying to promote, we appreciate what Legacy Sports is doing as far as the city of Deer Park is concerned, and helping promote our communities as well. And so for me, it was a lot of fun, and I'm having a blast.
Now, you say you have some previous experience in radio. Let's talk about some of the preceding work you did on the radio format.
Well, I had an opportunity to work with a 3A school, with a radio station up in East Texas out of Crockett. Okay. And they've been a long time, over 50 years this station has been in existence. And they've had a lot of young guys come through and participate in broadcasting their football games over the years. And so had the opportunity to work with them and do some coloring and some play-by-play. I did a little more play-by-play in the basketball realm and in the baseball realm than on the football side. But just a lot of fun.
What about the most challenging aspects of calling a game?
The most challenging is just not getting too caught up in the ball game, especially when you're cheering for your home team. You got to remember that you got to keep your cool and your composure a little bit. And I'm one of these individuals. I get real excited very easily, especially at a high school football game. So I think that's probably my biggest challenge, is not getting too excited on the radio and yelling and screaming in a microphone.
And it helps when the team has some good, colorful uniforms. Numbers stand out because you know as well as I do, some of these teams' uniforms, it makes it kind of hard.
It makes it real difficult, and the older we get, it makes it more difficult to see. And as a matter of fact, I told Chase last week, I said, I'm going to have to bring the binoculars because my eyes aren't near as good as they used to be.
Now, the city of Deer Park recently with Absher Stadium, they went through a renovation, put up a brand spanking new press box. I'm sure you've had a chance to slide in there a couple of times. That's got to be a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful facility, and we would encourage anyone that hasn't had an opportunity to attend a football game at Absher Stadium to please come out. The facilities there are really second to none in high school football, to be quite honest about it. And the citizens of Deer Park saw fit to pass a bond issue and build that new press box and do the renovations. It was greatly needed. The press box that we had was in pretty bad shape, and so now we do. We have a premier press box. that we love being able to show off, and we say that's Deer Park, and the fact of the matter is that is Deer Park. We're just the facilities and as a whole really do make it nice, and we're just proud to show them off.
Now, a couple of guys like ourselves, we have day jobs. We wish Legacy could be a full-time thing, but we got to pay the bills as well with a primary job, and that, of course, is you with the Deer Park Chamber, the City of Deer Park. What does the Chamber do in the City of Deer Park in terms of community outreach and support of the local high schools?
Well, I appreciate that. One of the things that we've worked real hard at, I've only been in Deer Park for 3 years, and one of the things that, but even prior to my time, worked real hard to just pull everybody together. We're a community, and we work very diligently to bring the business community and the school district and the city as a whole all together, and we kind of feel like that we're kind of the glue that kind of helps hold that in place and find those gaps that need to be bridged and worked on. Again, trying to just pull the whole community together, and that's not very hard to do, to be quite frank about it, in Deer Park, because everybody works very well together. So what we try to do is if the school district has a need, then we go out and we try to into our business community, and we try to meet that need. One of the events that the Chamber holds that we just got finished with was our Salute to Education, probably one of the premier events that we do all year long. And what it is we bring the business community into the school district and showcase the business community and our school district with each other, and give our teachers an opportunity, especially our new teachers, just a little taste of what Deer Park's all about.
Are there any hurdles? Are there any mountains to climb when doing something like this?
Well, as far as promoting a community, there's always, I guess, a few small hurdles that you've got. But again, Deer Park is very fortunate. We've got a good city council. We've got a good school board. We've got people that are very fiscally responsible and do a good job with managing our monies and making sure that they can do the best and premier Deer Park. And that's not always easy. Sometimes certain people think you ought to do things a certain way, and that's understandable. But what Deer Park does well is they do manage their finances very well, and they're very conscientious about how they handle the taxpayers' money. And from a chamber standpoint, that's important, because our job is to grow the business community, and that's what we want to do. And so if you're not, if those things aren't happening, then business is not going to move to your community. We've seen a very large growth in the last year and a half in our business community. Deer Park is growing from a business perspective. We've got some new shopping centers that have moved in. We've had some new apartment complexes that have moved in for seniors. So we've seen some of that take place. So it's been really, really good.
Of course, nationwide you have the issue of the economy. My day job felt those, hit really hard. What about the economics of Deer Park? How's the economy in the city?
That's a real good question. I would tell you that the economy in Deer Park is very strong, to be quite honest with you. As a matter of fact, we've got businesses that are looking to move to Deer Park. The industrial base that we're built on is pretty solid. And we know for a fact that we've got companies that are wanting to grow and to expand and to hire new people. New jobs are coming online and are becoming more available. And so a lot of times when we look at some of our studies and some of our analysis that we do, we've got a wonderful group with the Economic Alliance, and we work very closely with them. And when you look at some of the analysis that they look at, they'll tell you that Texas was kind of the last to slide into the slowing economy. Okay. We're first to come out of it. But more importantly, in our Southeast Texas region, we were the very last to come into it, and probably didn't feel it as much as a lot of the other area of the country, to be quite frank. And so, again, it's just important to know that we've got a good industrial base that continues to grow and thrive, and quite honestly, it's kind of a heartbeat for the economy as a whole.
All right, spotlight's on you, Tim. What about some future events coming up here with the Chamber of the City of Deer Park?
Probably the biggest event that we've got coming up is going to be our Totally Texas event that will be held in April. It's an opportunity for us to kind of showcase the history, the birthplace of Texas being Deer Park, working with folks out at the San Jacinto Monument and the Battleship Texas. Those are opportunities for people to come and visit. It's a great time. We have arts and craft vendors. We have a parade. There's just a lot of different attractions on that day. So it's a lot of fun. We encourage people to come out and be a part. A lot of entertainment, singers and dancers and all that sort of thing. It's just a real community, hometown atmosphere, and so that'll be taking place in April. We've got some other events that'll be taking place that we're working on right now currently with San Jacinto College. Again, an opportunity to work with them, and so we'll be making some press announcements as time goes on.
All right, I'm going to get you to wear your analyst hat one more time. What do you expect to see in the second half?
Well, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see the defense from Deer Park to continue to settle in. I've got the sneaking suspicion that the boys are getting an earful right now as far as, again, let's get back to fundamentals. Let's tackle the way we're supposed to tackle. As long as we're doing that, I think defensively we'll be okay. Remember to be patient. Have that zone read, see what's going to happen, what's coming at you, and when it comes at you, go ahead and attack it. Don't just sit back and wait. Attack it and hit it hard and make good tackles. Offensively, I think what you're going to see, I'm going to go back to it. I really do believe you're going to see Luna get more involved in this ball game. Maybe wrong, but I think that's the one thing that I would point out is let's watch and see what happens with Luna.
What about this from the spring standpoint?
Good gracious, I really do believe they're going to keep doing what they're doing, to be quite honest with you. I don't know that you're going to see a lot of changes out of them offensively, and we had an opportunity to watch the freshman football game, and I've talked to some that watched the JV and the sophomores yesterday as well. They didn't make a lot of changes and adjustments in those age groups either. I don't think you're going to have a lot of that take place here. I think everybody's pretty much going to run their offense and their defense and what they've got, and they're going to basically say, here's what we are, stop us.
Excellent, Tim. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you.
Tim Culp of the City of Deer Park and the Legacy Sports Network. The Champion Chevrolet halftime show continues.
The Spring High School Scarlets Dance Team. Managing guard Jessica Oliveras and Brandy Rookmore. The Scarlets run to the direction of Amy LaRue and Stephanie Bishop. Ladies and gentlemen, the Spring Independent School District is proud to present the BOA Super Regional and UIL State Finalist Spring High School Marching Band. The band is led onto the field by Senior Drum Major Theo Meadow, Senior Drum Majors Aaron Hernandez and Sabrina Norris, and Junior Drum Major Ronnie Ogden. Tonight, the band will perform part 1 of their 2012 production, Queen of Sheba, featuring the music of 20th century Italian composer Respighi. This music was specifically arranged for the Spring Band by Los Angeles-based arranger Don Hill, with visual design by Jack Percival, Chad Berkshresser. The soloists include Victor Villalobos, Elizabeth Butler, Nick Evans, Jordan Robbie, and Austin Houghton. Ladies and gentlemen, the Queen of Sheba. Spring High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Terry Racing, assistants Jason Smith and Gabriel Miller. Marching director is J.D. Glickman. Bell guard director is Chad Hurst.
Nestled in the comfort of the Texas Gulf Coast, Deer Park, Texas continues to prove why the birthplace of Texas is on everyone's mind. Voted best affordable suburb by the Bloomberg Business Week, Deer Park is home to many businesses and continues to grow in population and industry. With its close proximity to the Houston Ship Channel, Deer Park is home to many industrial leaders like Dow and Shell. Voted in the top 10 most affordable places to live by CNN Money, Deer Park lures many new residents year-round. These residents enjoy the comforts of many retail outlets, recreational locations, and historic sites like the Battleship Texas and San Jacinto Monument. And with a recognized school district that boasts award-winning athletic, culinary, and journalism programs, Deer Park continues to gain the attention of people nationwide. Come see what everyone's talking about and make your next visit to Texas a rebirthing experience in the birthplace of Texas. Don't worry, boots and jeans are optional. Work, stay, play, explore. That's Deer Park, Texas. Uniquely you.
Fanatic? Open a Texans checking account with First Community Credit Union and you could win a trip to the big game in New Orleans. Just visit TexansChecking.com and open your account. Signing up is easy and free. You'll get a customized Texans debit card. And best of all, you could win a trip to New Orleans for the big game or other great prizes like trips to Texans road games and the 2013 draft in New York City. Be a Fanatic. Visit TexansChecking.com and sign up for your chance to win. First Community Credit Union, the official credit union of the Houston Texans.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Welcome back to Leonard George Stadium here in Spring. Our halftime score, the Deer Park Deer trail the Spring Lions by a score of 21-14. Spring got out on top 21-0. 14 unanswered points scored by Deer Park. And for more, let's go down to the field and Chase Hernandez.
Well, Michael, I got a chance to talk with both coaches just briefly off camera. And first, we'll talk about Coach Sam Parker, the Spring Lions. Coach said, he really thought that his team could have put a lot more points on the board in that first half. They just missed on a few opportunities, and they really think they got to slow down Deer Park since they gained a little bit of momentum going into halftime. I talked with also Coach Chris Massey of the Deer Park Deer, and Coach said, hey, we got down 21-0. I told the guys, hey, look, there's still plenty of game left to go. There's plenty of time. We just need a few stops. We need to slow down and play our game, and we'll be right back in it. Right now, 21-14, and just like he said, they are right back in this game, and it's going to be a nice second half, I think, for both of these teams when they come out of the locker rooms.
All right, Chase, thank you very much. Back up here high atop Leonard George Stadium along with Brent Moody and Jarrell Branch. Guys, your impressions of what happened in the first half?
Well, I really think that Spring came out and was just too much for Deer Park early in the game, but Deer Park was having good kickoff returns, good punt returns, and I think that 95-yard return really just kind of switched things around for Deer Park. They were able to build momentum off of that. I think if Spring had stuck to doing the squib kick, they wouldn't have had that momentum, probably wouldn't have had that kickoff return, and we're still looking at 21-0 deficit.
Yeah, your thoughts, Drill?
I'm loving the fire that I'm seeing from Deer Park. The Lions jumped on them so early, and you can get defeated, be deflated, and they didn't do that. They made some adjustments going into the second quarter, and it really helped them to execute defensively. That's the key for them because the defense was on the field for so long. They were on there for more than 5 minutes at a time, just getting exhausted, and offense was doing nothing. But now they've made it a game.
All right, keys to the second half. What needs to happen here?
Well, Deer Park's going to really have to come in and really be able to key off of what they were able to do in that second quarter. Connor Means was doing an excellent job switching up the play calling, going to the air. If he can be a little more accurate to the deep ball with Luna and to Rutherford, I think they're right back in this ball game and can take a lead early.
What about from the Spring standpoint?
Spring standpoint, really all they need to do is manage the offense well. What they've done is in the second quarter, they started to spread it out a little bit more. If they can get their quarterback just to sit back there, throw down the field, and have a little bit more balance this time in the second half, Spring can still win this game.
It is a halftime score of 21-14 as the Deer Park Deer trail the Spring Lions by 7. Back with the second half after these messages from Fox Sports Southwest.
Can't wait. Come to Texas Emergency Care Center. We're a licensed, freestanding emergency room open 24 hours a day, every day. Whether it's a broken bone or chest pain, the doctors and staff at Texas Emergency Care Center specialize in emergency medicine. We're ready and waiting, so you don't have to. At Texas Emergency Care Center, you'll be seen in minutes. We're open 24/7 in Pearland, Cypress, and Atascocita. Find us online at txercare.com.
You a fanatic? Open a Texans checking account with First Community Credit Union and you could win a trip to the big game in New Orleans. Just visit TexansChecking.com and open your account. Signing up is easy and free. You'll get a customized Texans debit card. And best of all, you could win a trip to New Orleans for the big game or other great prizes like trips to Texans road games and the 2013 draft in New York City. Be a fanatic. Visit TexansChecking.com and sign up for your chance to win. First Community Credit Union, the official credit union of the Houston Texans.
21-14, Deer Park trailing Spring as we get ready to start the second half. Let's run down the first half numbers. For Spring, 192 yards on the ground, 95 yards passing for Darius Lee Campbell, 287 yards of total offense in the first 24 minutes. The Lions with 14 first downs. They were 2 for 6 on third downs. They converted 1 fourth down. They were penalized 5 times for 40 yards. Their time of possession, 16 minutes, 6 seconds. For the Deer, not much to really hang their hat on. Some big plays on special teams and a big play to score the offensive touchdown. No yards rushing, 92 yards passing for Connor Means, just 2 first downs. The Deer were 2 for 6 on third downs, 4 penalties for 15 yards, 1 fumble, time of possession 7 minutes and 54 seconds. Spring will get the ball to start the third quarter. They're in their green tops. Deer Park are in all white. It was a 21-0 start for Spring before 14 unanswered points were scored by Deer Park.
You think you would tell Sam Parker before the game that he would have the ball for 16 minutes and 14 first downs in the first half and only have a 7-point lead?
No, sir.
End over end kick. Dorcius lets it bounce. Spring will take it on the 25. Darius Lee Campbell was 7 for 13 in the air. Rushed for a touchdown. Dorcius has rushed for a touchdown. Jones has run for a touchdown. The Deer Park scores. The 90-yard kickoff return by Hickman and a 54-yard touchdown pass from Connor Means to Josh Rutherford. Spring will begin on their own 25.
New quarterback.
Robert Whitaker will take the snaps here at least to start the second half. And a handoff to Horton with a huge hole. Gashes the Deer Park defense, makes some moves, and falls down at the 45-yard line. A 30-yard run for Drevin Horton.
That's
outstanding move from Horton. It looked like he was going to have the angle, just ran out on him going to the outside. He tried to kick it back to the middle of the field and picked up about 6 more yards.
You see quarterback on the sideline, starting quarterback Darius Lee Campbell getting work on. His pads and his shirt are off.
Looks like they're looking at his shoulder.
Hope everything is okay with the junior quarterback. Robert Whitaker on first down, he hands off to Dorcius. Dorcius gets bottled up after picking up 3 down to the Deer 43.
Number 28, Dorcius takes the
Dorcius had 65 yards on 7 carries and a touchdown back in the first half.
Had 100 yards going sideline to sideline.
Gain of 3 yards on the play.
Dorcius ran for just under 700 yards, 9 touchdowns last season as a junior when Spring went 4-6. Again, they're still looking to get to the playoffs for the first time since being eliminated in the first round by Westside back in 2004. Second down, keeper for Whitaker. Whitaker across the 35, taken down at the 34, should be enough for another Spring first down.
This is something that Spring couldn't do in that second quarter. Deer Park really started to bow up, and there were no holes available at all in the middle of the field. Now, all of a sudden, there's these huge gashing holes that were there in the first quarter. Deer Park's got to regroup and make some adjustments quickly.
Spring got off to a hot start to begin this thing. Kind of cooled off due to that Deer Park defense in the second quarter. Here's a handoff. Nope, keeper for Whitaker. And he's got space down the middle of the field to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown. A 34-yard run for Robert Whitaker. And he scores the Lion touchdown.
When you got athletes at quarterback, I guess it really doesn't matter who's in the game. That play's working for whoever it's going to.
I mean, he just shook that linebacker out his socks. And then after that, it was purely a race. And he had sights on the end zone the entire time.
Yeah, there were numerous Deer Park Deer that had the angle on him. He just beat them to the goal line.
Ibar Ramirez out for the PAT. Spring back out in front by 2 touchdowns. Whitaker will stay in the game and serve as the holder for Ramirez. And the kick is blocked. That can be advanced by the Deer. And they can score 2 points if they can get it all the way back to the end zone.
Good block.
Good blocking down the field. Taking it back is Cody Page. Cody Page can score 2 points, and he will.
Good awareness of the Deer to go ahead and pick that ball up and advance it. And poor awareness on the part of Spring because they just kind of stood around. Watch as this block happens and occurs. He picks up the ball. Everybody's standing around because they thought the ball was kicked.
90's going for it. There was only one person from Spring trying to get to it.
Yeah. And the Deer did a good job of getting downfield with him. They were very aware. You can tell they practiced this in practice. They did a great job of doing that. And see, this will get the momentum started for the Deer because they really started out slow.
Let's go down to the field and check in with Chase Hernandez.
Yeah, guys, right now this game is all about adjustments right now because Deer Park, like we said in the first half, they were preparing for this triple option coming into this game. And then Spring comes out running the zone read to success all game long so far, putting up 27 points. It's all about what the defense can do. If they can attack this zone read like they did towards the end of the first half, they're going to be in this, or the Spring Lions are just going to run away with this ball game. And just like Jarrell said right there, that 2-point swing right there could come into play later in this ball game. Instead of being a 14-point lead, it's only 11.
Number 83, Ibar Ramirez.
So that's simply something that you don't see all that often. A touchdown, blocked, extra point, return for 2. It doesn't happen all that much, but as you guys pointed out, it could play a factor later on here at Leonard George Stadium.
And it's so many times that players aren't aware of the rules in little stuff like that because it doesn't happen. And Deer Park seemed like they had practiced it because he knew immediately once that ball was blocked, go ahead and advance that ball.
Sometimes that's the only chance you're going to get your name in the paper.
Ramirez to kick it off. Stands 5 yards back from the 40. Kicks it downfield. And that one will be bounced into the end zone. And the Deer will come out to the 25 to begin their first possession here in the second half. Here's your latest drive summary.
34-yard touchdown run by Whitaker caps off a drive of 4 plays, 75 yards, 1 minute and 30 seconds off the clock. Extra point attempt by Ramirez was blocked. That score coming
with 10:31 left in the third, 27-16 Spring on top of Deer Park.
Interested to see what Deer Park cook up here. They didn't have a good start offensively to the game. We'll see if they have a better start to the second half.
Deer Park is going to have a little bit of balance. You have to throw in the air. The receivers are getting open, but it's just about hitting the target.
They begin out of the pistol. First down from the 25. Handoff.
There you go. Keep
New back in the ball game for the Deer is Xavier Brown. Xavier Brown not much to the 29, gain of 4.
It was a free play because it looked like Ellie Rodriguez jumped on that one.
Our referee tonight is Mike Atkinson. An experienced crew working this Thursday night game here from Leonard George Stadium. Offsides. Called on the Lions. It'll be 1st and 5. Second time they've been called for offsides defensively here tonight.
I would look for Deer Park to throw on this one just to kind of get a little momentum going, get a little something down the field, get the sidelines going.
Brown stays in the backfield. 2 receivers, Rutherford, split out bottom of your screen. 1 man in motion. Means fires deep, and a miscommunication as Rutherford cut in, thinking it was going to be a square in, and Means threw it deep.
Oh, and Rutherford lost his footing. Even if they were on the same page, he wasn't going to be able to get to that ball.
Going back to the end of the second quarter, 3 missed passes thrown by Connor Means.
And really, you're right. It's all timing, and the timing's just been wrong. But, I mean, the plays look solid. The receivers are coming open, but it's just been bad timing. But one thing Connor Means did look good doing is throwing on the run.
Luna to the wide side, split to the top of your screen. Down low is Hickman. On 2nd down and 5, handoff to Brown, not much. A couple of inches past the line of scrimmage. And in on the play was Paul Love. Love, a junior middle linebacker, had an interception against Shane McCarley of Manville last week.
You're right. The times that Means has been accurate, they've kind of bootlegged him out, got him on the run, and he's just been a more accurate passer when he's on the move instead of when he steps into his throw.
7th, 3rd down, facing Deer Park here tonight. They need to get to the 35-yard line for a new set of downs. Play action pass Means, rolls to his right, throws, complete to Rutherford for the 3rd down conversion, and the Deer first down at the 47-yard line, a 17-yard pass play.
I love it when the plan comes together. Look at him as he sprints out, makes a good fake, and he just throws so well on the run. He's always seemed like he connects with his receivers when he's on the run and outside that pocket. Love it.
Rutherford, 4 receptions, 91 yards, and a touchdown. First down and 10 for the Deer. They'll scrimmage from their own 47-yard line.
16 points for the Deer and only 3 first downs.
Adrian Galindo in motion. Sets up as a wingback. Low snap. And it looked like that might have been a flea flicker. I'm not sure. Just a bad exchange.
It's a low snap back to Means, and Means was able to get the ball and quickly get it into his running back's hands, but it was just too bang, and the running back wasn't able to seal it up.
And that's one of those times when something like that happens, the quarterback has got to keep the ball. You can't try to hand that ball off. The timing is already thrown off.
Second turnover forced by this Spring defense. They've got great field position. They'll begin on the Deer 45, already leading by 11, with a chance to put more points on the board and take an even bigger lead. Remember, they started out this game with a 21-0 lead before Deer Park cut it to 7. Quarterback is still Whitaker. As we take a look at this near sideline, it appears that Darius Lee Campbell's night is done. His shoulder is taped up, and ice pack is on it. Here's a handoff to Xavier Woods. And Woods spun down at the 31-yard line, a 14-yard run for Xavier Woods.
The backfield of the Spring Lions are perfect at making something out of nothing. Look at this. He's bunched up. It looks like he's going to be tackled at the line of scrimmage, but he's able to squirt through. He keeps moving his feet. He has great momentum. He's just not going to be denied.
And they shored up their defense there in the middle of the field in the second quarter, but Spring seems to be able to find some holes in the defense here in the third.
My apologies to Xavier Jones. And now does Whitaker on a keeper. to the edge at the 20, and he will score. Touchdown. 31 yards for Robert Whitaker, his second touchdown of the game.
35, now 31.
It's very reminiscent of that first quarter.
They're going to have to find a way to get this guy the ball offensively when they get DLC back.
Whitaker just does a great job of just maneuvering and manipulating that block on that outside. Once he saw it, he knew he was gone.
And guys, I was just about to say right before that play, the wind has started picking up on the field right in front of Spring's face, so you are probably not going to see Spring really throw the football much the rest of this third quarter. And right now they don't need to. They're just doing their damage on the ground.
And even so, if they do decide to throw the football, you wonder the type of prowess that Whitaker has delivering passes. As they try to go for two, he stays on his feet, but will be bottled up. And the score will remain the Spring Lions 33, the Deer Park Deer 16, with 8:43 remaining here in the third quarter. This is Thursday Night Football presented by Texas Emergency Care Center.
Nestled in the comfort of the Texas Gulf Coast, Deer Park, Texas continues to prove why the birthplace of Texas is on everyone's mind. Voted best affordable suburb by the Bloomberg Business Week, Deer Park is home to many businesses and continues to grow in population and industry. With its close proximity to the Houston Ship Channel, Deer Park is home to many industrial leaders like Dow and Shell. Voted in the top 10 most affordable places to live by CNN Money, Deer Park lures many new residents year-round. These residents enjoy the comforts of many retail outlets, recreational locations, and historic sites like the Battleship Texas and San Jacinto Monument. And with a recognized school district that boasts award-winning athletic, culinary, and journalism programs, Deer Park continues to gain the attention of people nationwide. Come see what everyone's talking about and make your next visit to Texas a rebirthing experience in the birthplace of Texas. Don't worry, boots and jeans are optional. Work, stay, play, explore. That's Deer Park, Texas. Uniquely you.
Here's the kickoff, taken by Josh Rutherford inside his own 10-yard line. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line, an 18-yard return for Josh Rutherford. Here's your latest drive summary for the Spring Lions. It's become the Robert Whitaker Show early here in the third quarter.
31-yard touchdown run by Whitaker caps off a drive of only 2 plays, 45 yards, and only 32 seconds off the clock. They went for two and did not convert. That score coming with 8:43 left in the third. It's 33-16 Spring on top of Deer Park.
Next Saturday is the return of Saturday Night Football presented by Texas Emergency Care Center, and it's arguably the biggest game of the season to date as the Katy Tigers visit the Woodlands Highlanders. Coverage from Woodforest Bank Stadium will begin at 5:45 right here on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. The Deer begin with a handoff, and Cano gets a first down, attacking the right side out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Pick up a 13 yards.
Noah Cano does a good job of approaching the line and then sliding it outside. Great block on the outside by the tight end over there, just to spring him just a little bit.
Just the fourth first down, but Deer Park's got to try to continue to chip away and just move the ball, keep the Spring defense on the field, keep their defense off of the field.
2-receiver package on 1st and 10. Out of the pistol. Means on the give. Cano spins off a 1. Cano across midfield and then hit hard. Braylon Alexander was there defensively for Spring, but not after a 14-yard run by Noah Cano.
Noah Cano did a great job of just sliding in, did a good job spinning off that linebacker. And good, huge, solid hit.
Yeah, they've got to continue to make guys miss and just move the sticks down the field.
Coming down to the 8-minute mark here in the third, 33-16 Spring.
It's the second time the offense has been in Spring side of the field.
Play clock down to 3. Snap to Means, and he hands off back on the ground. A steady die to Cano, but this time defense equal to the task. Charlie Cook leading the way for the Lions, and a loss of 2 back to midfield.
number 7, Willie Sachs, along with number 17.
There's nowhere to go for Cano. Great job by the Lions plugging those holes and getting into the backfield.
A 17-point deficit for the Deer Park Deer. As we play here in the third quarter. They were down at 1.21. They now trail by 17. They had cut the lead all the way down to 7 entering halftime.
This is definitely the best that we've seen Deer Park run the ball the entire game. But now it's time to go ahead and have that balance.
Second down and 12 from the midfield stripe. Means in trouble. Scrambles to his right. Still in trouble, airs it out, and it is caught by Rutherford, who comes back to make the play. At the 25-yard line, that is a 25-yard completion.
And
yeah, go ahead.
This is a great job by Rutherford and also number 6 to keep moving around. They saw that their their quarterback was in trouble, kept moving, and were able to find some open space. And great job by Means to get the ball downfield to Rutherford.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Drew.
I was going to say that play is meant for Means to stay back there in the pocket, but Means is his best when he is on the move, and he was forced out the pocket that time, but he still looked downfield the whole time. He didn't think about running once.
Rutherford having a huge night over the 100-yard mark, receiving with 116 yards and a touchdown. Cano thrown down at the 25 for a 1-yard gain.
Cano is the ball carrier.
They're having success on the ground running it left. Just run the ball left. Next play, bootleg Means out to the right and just keep going back and forth. That seems to be successful for them so far.
Hey, guys, I know there's plenty of time left in this game. We're only at the 6:23 mark here in the third quarter, but that was almost a game-saving grab right there by Josh Rutherford. Just the way he came back for that football to make that grab right there is a huge play for Deer Park as they're driving on this possession.
Definitely keeps them involved in the game.
Second down and 9. The Deer will scrimmage from the Lion 25. Play action pass. Means throws.
Nice.
And it is dropped by Colton Swaim. Those you have to have.
Beautiful designed play. It just had Spring totally off guard as he had a great play fake, rolls out to the outside, wide open, and he just doesn't look it in.
And just an outstanding job by Connor Means because 2 guys were spying the quarterback, and only one of them was supposed to be there. The other one was supposed to be containing the tight end, and the tight end had all kinds of space out there on the right side. Connor Means hit him right in the numbers, but he was looking upfield before he made the catch.
Rutherford and Luna. Luna has been held in check tonight. They split up to the wide side of your screen. Top of your screen on third down and 9. Snap back to Means. Gets a good block. Now he's forced to tuck and run, and he's tackled at the 24-yard line. Just a gain of a yard on the play, and a tackle that is made by DeAndre Lewis, senior outside linebacker for this Lions defense.
Well, he should have had a free play there because it looked like DeAndre Lewis jumped on the left side of that defense.
Brings up the 5th, 4th down.
I remember a great linebacker named DeAndre Lewis from Aldine. Played for the University of Texas. Went on to play in the NFL.
You only remember people that played for the University of Texas.
He was huge as a senior, dude.
Zane Gonzalez with the wind to his back will attempt a 41-yard field goal. So cut the lead to 14. Kick is on its way. It's definitely got the leg.
Wow.
And the accuracy is there too, and the lead has been cut to 14 with 5:10 remaining in the third quarter. 33-19 Spring on top of Deer Park. We'll return after this.
Off the hold of number 1, Caleb Martin.
Jobs, or you're an employer needing to hire personnel, then you need to talk with Metter Staffing Services. Metter Staffing has been in business for over 4 decades and is one of the largest staffing services in the Houston area, servicing a national market. Metter Staffing has specialists wanting to serve you in the areas of engineering, accounting, administrative support, industrial, IT, marketing, and many other job categories. They have 7 locations to serve your staffing needs. Call 713-941-0616 and they can direct you to the office nearest you. Metter Staffing on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
So the lead has been cut to 14, 33-19. Deer Park trailing Spring with 5:10 remaining in the third quarter. After giving up the 2 touchdowns, falling behind by 17, they got points on the board.
Yeah, they did a good job of just at least getting the points on the board. They obviously have a great kicking game, and that was a huge foot he put behind that. He had plenty of ball to go. And but the thing is, they got to score touchdowns. They were very consistent early, and then Spring put the brakes on that.
Kickoff by Gonzalez. He already has one that's gone out of bounds, but this one will be scooped up by Dorcius at the 5, up across the 40, stays in bounds. There is a flag down.
That's number 28, Dorland.
I believe he's going to get 15 additional yards as he is stopped at the 41-yard line in Deer territory.
Going to get some attention. They really ripped his neck around. He's feeling that one.
Get another good look here
Dorland,
at that kickoff return.
He just does a great job of once he sees the hole, he explodes through it. And here comes the face mask right there. Woo, turned his neck around pretty badly, but he's still able to keep his momentum. He has great balance because he continues to keep his feet moving at all times.
The Deer is the call.
You heard in the pregame show, Chase Hernandez talking with head coach Sam Parker. This is the last non-district game for his club. They get to Caney next, the defending state champs. Should be a good one. Let's talk about this last drive summary.
41-yard field goal by Gonzalez was good, and he had enough leg really to hit it from about 57. It was on 8 plays, 50 yards, 3 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock. That score coming with 5:10 left in the third. It's 33-19 Spring on top of Deer Park.
So Spring will start with the defending champs next week to start District 13 5A, and it doesn't get any easier on September 20th. They take on the team we saw victorious last week, the Klein Collins Tigers. They're coming off a week 0 victory, 35-14. We have a timeout on the field, so let's step aside. 5 minutes to go. 33-19 Spring. So after the fabulous return by Dorland Dorcius and then the 15 yards added on due to the Deer Park face mask penalty, Spring will begin this offensive possession on the Deer 25, leading 33-19 with exactly 5 minutes to go here in the third from Leonard George Stadium. Along with Brent Moody, Jarrell Branch, and Chase Hernandez, I'm Michael Silvers. Delighted that you've come along for the ride. Here's a handoff to Horton. He finds a huge hole and slides his way down inside the 15 to the 13 for a 12-yard pickup.
I was about to say, starting from the 25, I'm amazed they didn't let Whitaker call his own number. They were well within his scoring range.
And if Horton bounces that thing out left, I mean, he had nothing but green grass in front of him.
Last week, the Deer defense saw a triple option in Clear Lake. They're seeing a zone read, and it's gashing him. High snap, Whitaker's got to pull it down, and he's got to improvise. He's tackled back at the 23-yard line by Butterfrass. A loss of 10.
You know, it's amazing, you know, when you have so many athletes on your team and you can just replace them. You know, if someone gets injured or somebody has to step out for a second, you can just replace them and you get the same result.
Second down and 20. The Lions will scrimmage from the Deer 23. In the lineup, top of your screen in the slot is Daniel Gallagher, Jr. Shotgun with split backs for Whitaker. And that one gets by him. Picks it up on the run and will eat it back at the 40-yard line. They may mark him at the 39, but nonetheless, that is another huge loss. And Spring helping out Deer Park here with these offensive miscues.
Yeah, and that one's all on Whitaker right there. It just looked like the ball just went through his hands. Or maybe he was looking upfield and didn't look the ball into his hands. That's one thing as a quarterback in the center exchange. You have to have that before you can do anything else.
Yeah, loss of 16. Excuse me, Brent. Loss of 16.
I think they were actually finally going to let Whitaker throw the ball, and he was, as you said, looking up the field trying to see where he was going to go with it before he even had the ball.
Third down and forever. Spring will need to get down to the 4 to continue this drive, and Whitaker will look to throw. Scramble to his right,
Nice.
dump it off to Horton, his safety valve. Horton to the 30, still got a long way to go. And coming from behind to grab him and put him down to the turf is Eric Wilms.
Yeah, once you start jumping and sidestepping like that, trying to pick up extra pieces of yards, you're going to have a defensive player come blindside you eventually, and he got 2 big pops there.
He did a good job of getting back up because really he got tackled by a defensive player. He got back up, and Whitaker was able to find him. Lucky not to get a face mask on that play as Deer Park was coming across trying to tackle him.
Officials timeout, 33-19 Spring with 2:58 to play in the third.
Footage was captured at a local grocery store. This man just took money from his bank that wasn't in his account. Did you catch it? Let's see that again. There, he just got 10 cents back for every $10 or more purchase on his debit card with cashback counts checking from Community Bank. Imagine a bank that actually pays you to use your debit card. Swipe all you can from your bank. Community Bank of Texas. Bank where you live.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you know the Legacy Sports Network has its own mobile app? Yes, we released it here in 2012. Go to the iTunes Store, search Legacy Sports Network, or go to Google Play in the Android market to download the app on your Android devices. 4th down, and the Lions will go for it. On 4th and 25, play action pass. Whitaker fires over the middle, and it is complete, but short of the first down.
That's
Alex
a first.
Woods, no. First down markers inside the 5. Alex Woods with the catch to the 10. 23 yards on the pass play. However, it is short and a turnover on downs.
Nice job by Whitaker to stand in there. Good pass. Good job of Alex Woods to box out the defender, to grab that ball.
Woods had 2 receptions last week for 50 yards. In the loss to Manville, Woods just a sophomore. So the Deer hold on defense. Trail by 14, 2:51 to play here in the third quarter. And they'll scrimmage from their own 10. Connor Means, the quarterback, hands it off. Noah Cano across the 20, first down. To about the 21-yard line. Let's go down to the field and Chase Hernandez.
Yeah, guys, Deer Park, like you said, caught a big break right there because Spring almost turned that into a first down. So Deer Park, thinking that they were going to punt right there, they get a huge break getting the ball back right there with the wind still at their back. What I was going to say right here is look to see them go downfield with 2:35 left to go in this third quarter. The wind at their back, Connor Means could put one in the air. Look for maybe Eric Lunar or Josh Rutherford, who's had a big game, to possibly get one of those deep passes and score with the final minutes remaining in this third quarter.
First down and 10 from the 20. Handoff again, keeping it on the ground just for minimal yardage. Pickup of a yard, and Cano stopped by the Spring front 4.
They definitely need to go ahead and get Connor Means out into a little sprint out so he can move his feet, go through his progressions, and throw that ball down the field. That's one of the most productive plays that they've had, and they're very close to making, hitting a home run.
A couple of more non-district tilts for Deer Park next week at home for their home opener against Clear Creek. They, in fact, have 3 straight games at Absher Stadium. They'll follow up the Clear Creek game, the matchup against Dickinson, then start district play against Port Arthur Memorial. Pass up the right sideline off the fingertips of Eric Luna.
Intended for number 8, Eric Luna, defending for the Lions, number 22.
And Freddie Woods on the coverage.
First time he's gotten close to hitting Eric Luna. That one just off his fingertips, and excellent effort from Luna to try to haul it in. These guys get on the same page, they're going to be putting up a lot of points on the board because Luna burns most every coverage I've seen put on him, whether this season or last season. He gets past the DBs if you can get the ball placed right for him.
Deer Park made it to the area round of the postseason last year, lost to Pearland, lost in the first round the year prior to North Shore. In this new District 22-5A, Means fires on the run, batted away, and almost picked off by Braylon Alexander, diving for the deflection. There is a marker down at the 21-yard line.
Looks like they're going to get 33 with contact.
Don't have him on our roster.
There is a flag on the play.
Nope.
There's a procedure call.
We got a procedure call, but then we've also got.
Brings up 4th down.
Oh, just a false start.
So now 3 of 9 on 3rd down attempts are Deer Park.
And Means has thrown 3 straight incomplete passes. 7 of 12 for 134 yards. Zane Gonzalez out to execute the punt. He'll stand on his own 6.
Spring has done a good job of making some solid adjustments this half to keep Deer Park on their heels.
Woods back deep to receive alongside Chris Simmons. Good punt from Gonzalez. It is Woods who makes the fair catch and will be ruled at the 38-yard line.
Number 22, Freddie Woods for the Lions.
41 yards on the punt
40 yards
by Zane Gonzalez. And the Spring offense will come back out on the field with 1:21 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, leading by 14 at 33-19, trying to get to 500.
Spring has really been gashing the inside of this Deer Park defense. I want to see if they're going to make any type of adjustments to try to plug those holes and have Spring run sideline to sideline. When they run sideline to sideline, Deer Park is able to play well and get some stops. But once there's a little gap or a little hole in the middle, Spring is taking full advantage of it.
Again, Robert Whitaker taking the place of Darius Lee Campbell, who is currently on the sidelines. Hasn't returned since the end of the first half. Handoff to Drevin Horton. Horton over the 40, out to the 41-yard line. Gain of about 3.
Number 93.
Tim Espinoza and Tristan Guerra double up on the tackle. Guerra, junior nose guard. Espinoza, junior outside linebacker for this Deer defense.
And with Spring, it's not about, having the big play or anything like that. Their players are making big plays out of simple plays right up the middle. They're so athletic. They're so quick. They're making just little bitty cuts here and there.
On 2nd down and 7, Whitaker play fakes, runs to the right, gets to the edge of 45, out of bounds at the 46. Lopez angles him out along with Bunker Scruggs. Lions will be 2 yards shy of a first down.
That's one of those things where you have to be aware of where you are on the field so you can try to get that first down. It's hard when you don't have the marker on this sideline.
34 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. 33-19 Lions. Faced now with 3rd down and a deuce from their own 46. Whitaker hands to Horton. Horton spins and will get a first down to midfield.
It's the shoestring tackle. If Horton was able to get out of that, he had a whole lot of space right up the middle of the field. It's at the third down conversion, 3 of 8 now.
That's like Horton's patented move, spinning off a linebacker in the middle of the field.
8 rushes for Horton, 70 yards. Had 4 carries in the first half for 21 yards. Alex Woods to the top of your screen. And a slot to the top of your screen is Daniel Gallagher. Whitaker on the keeper, tackled in the backfield by Butterfrass.
And just a bad decision to hang on to it that time. Horton had all kinds of space, and Whitaker tried to make a play and keep it in himself, and that's going to be the end of the 3rd.
33-19. We'll switch directions one last time here at George Stadium. Thursday Night Football continues in just a moment. Michael Silvers, Brent Moody, Jarrell Branch, Chase Hernandez from Leonard George Stadium in Spring. Final 12 minutes of tonight's Week 1 tilt, 33-19. Deer Park trailing Spring. Spring now faced with 2nd down and 14. They'll scrimmage from their own 46. 4 receivers in the lineup. Whitaker will pass, fire left, and fire complete to Alex Woods. Woods will be short of first down yardage, tackled at the 42-yard line. But he gains 12 yards, and it's third down and manageable.
That was pretty impressive. From his shoulders, it looked like he was throwing that out to Horton. I don't know how he got that ball up the field, but he was squared up to throw that ball out in the flats to Horton, and he got it 12 yards up the field.
And this is the backup.
Couple of catches for Alex Woods here in the second half for 35 yards. Third down and 2. Handoff Horton, and he'll be stuck before the first down marker by Eric Benavides.
Well, he barely got a yard, and they're going to be an entire yard short.
Good job.
Well, Bunker Scruggs in on the tackle as well.
1 yard to go for the Lions.
So fourth down and a yard, a huge play for both schools.
And, Deer Park really just has to bow up, and try to do something. I would, honestly, the way they've been getting torn up in the middle, they need to stuff the middle. Go ahead and send somebody and go right after Whitaker. Get to the backfield.
Fourth down and a yard from the 41. Whitaker keeps first down and more. Gashing the middle of this Deer Park defense inside the 35, taken down at the 33. That is an 8-yard scamper on fourth.
And could just be completely devastating for Deer Park because now Spring has an opportunity. They can probably run maybe 2 minutes off the clock, try to get down into the end zone, and then it's just going to be an insurmountable lead for Spring if they can get away with some points here.
Whitaker's just done a great job of reading that play, reading and sticking that ball in his running back's belly and then just pulling it and seeing the hole, and he's seeing everything. He's really taking command on the field.
I really think you got to get he and Lee Campbell on the field at the same time.
Whitaker pump fakes, scrambles to his right, throws, and that one almost picked off. Ill-advised throw. John Lopez almost were able to pick it off for Deer Park. Pass was intended for Brendan Holst.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell if he was throwing that to Holst or throwing it away and just didn't have the arm strength to get it to the sideline, but got to do a better job there because that ball, almost, like you said, almost intercepted going back the other way.
First incomplete pass, Jarrell, thrown by Whitaker here in the second half.
Yeah, he had 2 receivers over there. Just threw it in a crowd.
Alex Wood split out to the bottom of your screen. Trips package at the top of your screen. 4 total receivers in the lineup. Handoff Horton, bouncing off of traffic, and is taken down at the 28-yard line for a 5-yard run.
Horton is the ball carrier.
Gives up a crucial third down here.
Ball popped out, but they're going to rule he was down, and Deer Park helmet came off, so he's going to have to come off the field for one play.
Guys, on the field right here, right next to that play, that referee blew that whistle just a little too quick because that ball was definitely loose right there. And before that Spring defender picked it up, he had already blown it. So Spring may be catching a little bit of a break right there with that ball almost being a fumble.
Clock moving, 9.5 to play. Here in quarter number 4, a 14-point deficit for Deer Park. Whitaker has Dorcius in the lineup. An offset to his right shoulder. Handoff, Dorland Dorcius, left side. And Dorcius with eyes to the end zone. Touchdown!
Number 28, Dorland Dorcius.
And let me tell you something. When Dorland Dorcius sees that end zone, he wants it so bad. There's so many times he could have been tackled here. He misses one, he breaks one tackle. Breaks another tackle right there. Then another tackle. He makes another move. I mean, he's so shifty.
When it looked like he had the field vision that like he saw that his angle was to the sideline and he cut it back to the middle of the field to not go out of bounds, not let the clock stop running, and then he saw some more daylight and he's like, oh, I might be able to score on this.
But it's also his body motion. Like he makes his body seem like it's going to go in one direction and automatically on a dime he's able to cut back in. He's just one athletic kid.
They go for 2. Whitaker throws and throws incomplete. Dorland Dorcius, a 28-yard touchdown run, his second touchdown rushing of tonight's game. 39-19 Spring.
One of the best things about State Farm is our accessibility.
Oh, yeah?
You can call us 24/7, get quotes online, start a claim with our smartphone app. You name it, we're here, anytime, anywhere, any way you want it.
That's the way I need it.
Any way you want it.
All night?
All night.
Every night?
Any way you want it.
That's the way I need it. We just had ourselves a little journey moment there.
Yep.
Saw him in 83 in Fresno. Place was crawling with chicks.
I gotta go.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
.9:17 left to play here at Leonard George Stadium. 39-19 Spring. 20 points, a little too much of a deficit to try to come back from within 9:17, Jarrell?
Yes.
You think?
Most definitely. It's one of the things, if Deer Park could have mustered something a little bit earlier, but they haven't even really seemed like they have that much more confidence or much fight in them left.
Well, they scored 14 points in the first half with only 6 minutes of possessing the ball on offense. So, 9:17 left. If they can get the ball, make some plays defensively and stop Spring, then, yeah, they're still in it, but their hopes are fading fast.
And one of their best assets has been on special teams. So if they can make something happen right now, they can get some of the spark.
Kickoff taken by Hickman at the 1. Has a lane and he runs into one of his blockers, slows him down, but he stays on his feet. Hickman tackled from behind, a 49-yard return. Could have been more, just unlucky there.
I think he's in for 6 if he doesn't run into 82.
As he gets his ball, he's right inside the end zone. I mean, he has a huge lane, and I don't know what he was looking at. And this is one of those things you have to keep practicing over and over again. He went back to actually look for a blocker, but maybe he just didn't see him.
Let's have a look at the latest spring drive summary.
28-yard run by Dorcius, his second run of the game, caps off a drive of 10 plays, 62 yards, 4 minutes and 5 seconds off the clock. They went for 2 and did not convert. That score coming with 9:17 left in the fourth. It's 39-19, Spring on top of Deer Park.
The Deer will start from their own 45-yard line. Connor Means, the quarterback. The shotgun snap. Steps up in the pocket, fires, intercepted. Taken back the other way. Down to the 30. Robert Flores picks it off. There's a flag down. Flores out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
It's going to be a late hit on number 71, Sampson.
I mean, he just steps up and just really just overthrows this ball. Good job of the Spring players to get downfield to start blocking. Good hustle by Noah.
All right, while we have a moment, down to Chase.
Yeah, guys, let's talk a little bit more about this running back Dorcius for Spring. This guy's been a bell cow all night long for this football team. He was just on the sidelines 2 plays before he ran that ball in the end zone, just leaning over, just gassed from how much he's been running tonight, and he has just paid off tonight. Just big run after big run, really showing what he can do, and this is going to be a big test next week, coming up. Pretty much going to be a big win tonight, and then going up against Spring Decaney next week for this Spring Lions team. A lot of momentum going into next week.
15 yards on the penalty for the unsportsmanlike conduct after the interception by Flores. 6 penalties on Deer Park tonight for 50 yards. And Spring will start inside the red zone. 1st and 10 from the Deer 13. Whitaker has 2 running backs in the backfield with him. Handoff, Dorcius pulled down in the backfield. Tim Espinoza starts in to make the play. Lost back to the 17 of 5 yards.
You know, and that's just a read on Whitaker's part, whether to go ahead and give that ball to his running back or to keep it. And that time he decided to give it to his running back. But I think he just got kind of caught in between and didn't know what to do. Everyone's looking at their wristbands.
Just running as much off the play clock as possible.
Just got word that Pasadena Memorial defeated Clear Lake today. Here's Whitaker inside the 10, angled out of bounds. At the 7-yard line, a pickup of 11, but it will bring up a 3rd down for the Lions.
Great ball fake. Watch. There was, right before he started taking off with the ball, there was actually a great ball fake. And everyone thought Javon Horton had the ball, and Deer Park was just absolutely clueless that Whitaker had it.
Yeah, both these guys that have ran quarterback for Spring have done a great job with the misdirection and misleading the defense to who has the ball.
Whitaker has 70 yards on 9 carries, 2 touchdowns, keeps it himself, and is stuck. The line of scrimmage by Tristan Guerra. Before he left the game, Darius Lee Campbell, 6 rushes for 61 yards.
Loss of 4 yards on the play.
And Campbell had a touchdown run back in the first half.
Yards to go for the Lions.
That's a great tackle on Tristan Guerra's part to be able to tackle an athlete like Robert Whitaker in the open field.
Probably going to see them let the clock run down and then get the field goal unit out after a delay game.
We mentioned why Sam Parker said he chose to pick Manville. He wanted to see where his team would be after week 0. He knew Manville were good. Played in the 4A state championship last year, lost to Aledo and Arlington. It's paid big dividends here tonight against Deer Park as we step aside. 7:21 to go in tonight's game, 39-19 Lions.
Personnel to staff your organization, it's a difficult assignment in today's job market. If this is a challenge for you, then call Metter Staffing Services. They've been assisting Houston area employers for over 43 years in locating all types of personnel, ranging from entry-level administrative candidates to CEOs, and virtually every other job category to meet your employment needs. Join the Metter Staffing conversation online on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Call 713-941-0616 today. Metter Staffing. They know the people you need to know.
All right, decision time for the Spring Lions, keeping the offense on the field or try to tack on 3, and it looks like they're going to go for it. Faced with 4th down and 7, scrimmaging from the Deer 9. Whitaker has filled in nicely for an injured Darius Lee Campbell here in the second half. 2 touchdown runs to start Spring scoring here in the second 24 minutes. And now the Lions are faced with 3rd, make it 4th down and long. They need to get down to the 3. Dorsey is off the right shoulder of Whitaker, and Horton off his left shoulder. Play action pass. Whitaker throws over the middle and too short for James Haley. He was getting the heat put on him. Got hit for his troubles and a turnover on downs.
And you know, that's a sign from a strong coach, from Sam Parker saying, look, I scheduled these teams because I wanted to know what my team was made of. That means he wants to win. You know, it's so sometimes, you know, few and far between in some of these schools that you don't see coaches that do that. They choose the easy teams. They choose those teams to try to give your team momentum to go into district and things like that with a winning mentality. But he wanted to test his team because he wants to try to get to state. Love it.
Don't forget, 9 days away for Saturday Night Football presented by Texas Emergency Care Center from Woodforest Bank Stadium next week. The Katy Tigers will visit the Woodlands Highlanders. Our coverage will start at 5:45 here on Fox Sports Southwest. Handoff. Beginning things here for Deer Park. Nick Victor out to the 14-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play.
Hands off to number 20, Nick Victor.
2 yards on 2 carries for Nick Victor. Hasn't seen a lot of activity here at Leonard George Stadium tonight. His team trailing by 20. We're coming down to 7 minutes remaining here in tonight's game.
And now this is when, you know, you still want your team to execute. You have a lot of time on the clock. Just execute, make some things happen, get on your blocks, continue to work hard.
Hands off to number 20, Nick
Victor pounds his way forward for an additional 2 yards. 3rd down facing Deer Park here.
When you're down like this is when you start seeing the character of your team. What do you have? What do you have to work with? And Deer Park showed that in the first half because really they were knocked out of this game and they were able to come back, regroup, and they just been struggling in the second half. But I would love to see them have a push right now.
Well, yeah, you want to see your guys go out there and still compete, but you don't want to see them try too much in this game that really isn't going to matter for your district campaign and somebody get hurt as we've got a new quarterback in.
Back up to Connor Means as Caleb Martin saw some time in the second quarter last week. Hands off to Victor. Not much. Another yard.
Now 3 of 10 on 3rd down conversions, and if you're not moving the sticks on 3rd down, you're not going to win a ball game.
District play begins for Deer Park in 2 weeks. Check it 3 weeks. At home against Port Arthur Memorial as we go down to the sidelines and check in with Chase Hernandez. Not this time.
One of these days I'll learn to read lips, but that's pretty far away. No sign.
Punt from Gonzalez. Fair catch made at the Deer 46-yard line.
You know,
by Chris Simmons.
Even if he didn't make that catch, I think that's going to be a halo infraction.
That's what I was going to say.
He was awfully close.
I was going to say, remember the halo rule?
29-yard punt for Gonzalez on his 6th punt of the night. I don't know, Chase, you want to give it another shot?
Can we get one more
there
shot?
We go.
There we go.
Chase.
There we go. Hey, guys, what I was just going to say is for this Deer Park team, even though they're losing by 20 points right now, this is good for these second-teamers to get in this football game because this is a very young football team, and they are going to pay off dividends with them getting in a game like this, especially going in to that tough district in a couple of weeks.
At 5 seniors, 6 juniors in the starting lineup tonight for Chris Massey's team. Whitaker in as the quarterback. Clock stopped. 5:22 remaining here in spring. Handoff, Xavier Jones with a cutback, and he just falls down as he trips on this field turf.
The turf monster at the 36.
It'll get you.
15-yard run.
He was going to be gone.
13 yards on the play.
74 yards
Great
on
block.
4 rushes for Jones and a touchdown tonight.
These guys have great feet. I mean, his feet were moving so fast, he tripped over himself.
Only the 22nd first down for spring.
One of the things that Darius Lee Campbell had said after the Manville game was they made too many mental mistakes, had to correct that and improve this week. I'd say they improved by leaps and bounds in respect to the mental miscues. And, of course, improving week every week. And that's what you want to see as a coach. Handoff, and Horton takes it down to the 30 for 3 yards.
And see, that's a read right there where Whitaker can take that ball out and actually just go around the edge. There was no one there. And that's something that you just go back to the film room and you keep looking over and over again. And that's something that you practice, looking at that defensive end before you hand it off to the running back.
Sam Parker, the head coach of spring, came in in January, taking over after the retirement of Sonny Karras, longtime head coach here at Spring High School. When these seniors graduate, it'll be his first senior class. That's a long time coming. This season far from over. Pass out to the right side, tackled at the 5-yard line. And Xavier Jones gets in on the receiving fund as Whitaker throws to the 20-yard line. Good enough for a first down on a 10-yard pass play.
For the Deer, gain of 11 yards on the play, and it's 1st and 10, Spring Lions.
And you've really seen a lot out of Whitaker in this game that if something does end up happening as the season progresses, you can really trust that Whitaker can come in and you're not going to have too much fall off. Just got to call the right plays, make him not try to force anything.
Handoff to Horton. Horton spins off tacklers down inside the 15 to the 12 for an 8-yard run.
That's one thing about these backs from spring. They always want more. I mean, first contact, second contact, third contact, it doesn't matter. They're going to continue to move their feet and get the pile moving.
Yeah, Horton's been taking a lot of contact, though. This game's almost put away. I think you want to start getting some of your starters out and not risk any injury.
Our champion Chevrolet players of the game, Dorland Dorcius for Spring, Josh Rutherford for Deer Park. With these achievements, a contribution is made to the Spring Independent School District in recognition of our champion Chevrolet players of the game. 2nd down and 2. Handoff, Dorcius crawls his way down to the 5 for 7 yards. First down, goal to go for Spring. 11 carries, 98 yards and a touchdown for Dorcius, a pair of touchdowns for the senior running back tonight.
Amazing night for him. Now it's just time to run the clock down, take your time, get things organized, run solid, strong plays.
Well, they're going to have to get on the ball quick. There's only 3 seconds left.
Dorcius now with 4 touchdowns here in 2012. Scored 2 against Manville last week, 2 tonight against Deer Park. 2:26 remaining. Timeout taken by Spring. They're on top by 20 here from George Stadium. We'll be back in just a moment.
Nestled in the comfort of the Texas Gulf Coast, Deer Park, Texas continues to prove why the birthplace of Texas is on everyone's mind. Voted best affordable suburb by the Bloomberg Business Week, Deer Park is home to many businesses and continues to grow in population and industry. With its close proximity to the Houston Ship Channel, Deer Park is home to many industrial leaders like Dow and Shell. Voted in the top 10 most affordable places to live by CNN Money, Deer Park lures many new residents year-round. These residents enjoy the comforts of many retail outlets, recreational locations, and historic sites like the Battleship Texas and San Jacinto Monument. And with a recognized school district that boasts award-winning athletic, culinary, and journalism programs, Deer Park continues to gain the attention of people nationwide. Come see what everyone's talking about and make your next visit to Texas a rebirthing experience in the birthplace of Texas. Don't worry, boots and jeans are optional. Work, stay, play, explore. That's Deer Park, Texas. Uniquely you.
First down, goal to go. And the snap goes by Whitaker. And Xavier Jones able to pounce on it outside the 15. Coming up on the Metter Staffing Services postgame show, we'll bring you final stats, analysis, interviews, and much more. Plus, we'll take a look at our game next week between the Katy Tigers and the Woodlands Highlanders. It all comes your way next on the Metter Staffing Services postgame show. Looking forward to that one. Wood Forest Bank Stadium on a Saturday night, week 2, next weekend. So after the lost yardage, second down and goal for Spring back on the Deer 17.
Might as well bring a picnic because we're never getting out of that game as well as Katy travels.
Whitaker on the keeper, back to the line of scrimmage.
Make sure I bring my iPad.
Quarterback number 1, Robert Whitaker III, keeps it. No gain on the play.
That's just one of those stadiums you just feel like, you know what, it's going to be a long day.
It's such a nice stadium. Katy travels so well, and the Woodlands doesn't have far to travel at all, so that parking lot's going to be packed.
Yeah.
We got a timeout on the field. We'll step away one last time here in the fourth quarter. 39-19 Spring en route to 500 football.
Fanatic? Open a Texans checking account with First Community Credit Union and you could win a trip to the big game in New Orleans. Just visit TexansChecking.com and open your account. Signing up is easy and free. You'll get a customized Texans debit card. And best of all, you could win a trip to New Orleans for the big game or other great prizes like trips to Texans road games and the 2013 draft in New York City. Be a fanatic. Visit TexansChecking.com and sign up for your chance to win. First Community Credit Union, the official credit union of the Houston Texans.
Clock moving to the final minute here from Spring, Texas. 39-19 Lions. Third down and goal from the 17. Play fake to Dorcius. Throw to Jones. Jones down the sideline. Flag down. And Jones is in for the touchdown.
That's a hold on 1-0.
Alex Woods nullifies the 17-yard touchdown pass.
The bad part is that the hold was so unnecessary because of the athletic ability of Xavier.
Eight penalties per 60 yards called on Sam Parker's team tonight. And I know he's going to be happy that his team got the win, but in their meeting tomorrow, when they get ready to go back out on the practice field, he'll itemize that.
Yeah, it's going to be the little things that they're going to have to eliminate if they want to go further in district and far into the playoffs.
They get to Caney next week to open up District 13 5A action. McCaney with a shutout win against Straight Jesuit last week. The defending state champs winning the state title in their first postseason appearance. The pass out to the right side is complete.
Number 80. Doesn't even have the Spring logo on the side of his helmet.
Number 80 with the catch. That brings up a fourth down.
See if gonna be close to the last play.
He was Spring Spirit Person of the Week. Able to get a uniform.
We'll be transitioning into the Metter Staffing Services post-game show. Stay tuned. Chase Hernandez. We'll get thoughts from the victorious head coach, Sam Parker, maybe a player or two. We'll see if we can get you that. But after seeing his team give up a 21-point deficit and have their lead cut to 7, here's the pass to Jones, and he will walk into the end zone for the touchdown.
Whitaker's pass is complete to number 5. Xavier Jones is into the score.
Well, 12 yards on the touchdown pass. Jones' second touchdown tonight. And Spring have broken 40 points.
Everybody was so far off the ball, they just left it wide open for him to get into the end zone.
But Sam Parker's team had a 21-point lead. Then they saw it evaporate to within 7, and then played a similar brand of football that they played in the first quarter throughout this entire second half, with a whole new different quarterback in the game. Robert Whitaker taking the place of an injured Darius Lee Campbell. And this team never looked back, giving up only 3 points on the defensive end in the second 24 minutes.
Yeah, Spring just did a good job of, once they saw that they could really put it on Deer Park, they just continued and didn't let up. And like I said, it's amazing when you have a backup quarterback that can do almost the same thing your first string can do.
And he's just so athletic and does such a great job with the ball in his hands. You got to wonder later in the season, don't you imagine you want to have both those guys in the field? I mean, if he's able to make those kind of plays, get him out of wide receiver, get the ball in his hands.
Terrell, let me ask you this. The differences you saw between the two quarterbacks first and second half.
Well, okay, Darius Lee Campbell, he's more of a he seems more polished, and I think that's why he starts. When he drops back and he's able to survey the field and the way he moves his feet and everything like that, and he stands tall in the pocket, he looks like a true quarterback. Now, Whitaker is more of that athletic type quarterback, more of an option type quarterback, and that's why you saw a lot of that tonight, where he was reading, handing off to the running back, and reading that defensive end, whether he should run in the middle or not. But, I mean, it's just amazing that you have two guys that can produce like this.
Kickoff by Ramirez. Should be the final play of the game as Rutherford takes. Rutherford to the 40, and that does it.
I know they're not going to call it, but they sure grabbed a hold of it.
The Spring Lions have defeated the Deer Park Deer tonight, 46-19. When we return, it's the Matter Staffing Services post-game show. Thoughts, analysis, a preview of next Saturday's game between Katy and the Woodlands, and interviews conducted by Chase Hernandez. So let's step aside and we'll return in just a moment. This is Thursday Night Football, presented by Texas Emergency Care.
Just can't wait. Come to Texas Emergency Care Center. We're a licensed, freestanding emergency room, open 24 hours a day, every day. Whether it's a broken bone or chest pain, the doctors and staff at Texas Emergency Care Center specialize in emergency medicine. We're ready and waiting, so you don't have to. At Texas Emergency Care Center, you'll be seen in minutes. We're open 24/7 in Pearland, Cypress, and Atascocita. Find us online at txercare.com.
Metter Staffing Services has one of the largest temporary help divisions in the Houston area. Each week, the company pays over 2,000 temporaries, working on many and varied assignments. Metter Staffing can help your company when you have needs for your employees. Call us at 713-941-0616 to speak with one of our experienced staffing consultants who can assist you with your staffing challenges. That number is 713-941-0616. They now offer video resumes as a job-seeking tool. Ask about it today. Metter Staffing. They know the people you need to know.
Following footage was captured at a local grocery store. This man just took money from his bank that wasn't in his account. Did you catch it? Let's see that again. There, he just got 10 cents back for every $10 or more purchase on his debit card, with cashback counts checking from Community Bank. Imagine a bank that actually pays you to use your debit card. Swipe all you can from your bank. Community Bank of Texas. Bank where you live.
Nestled in the comfort of the Texas Gulf Coast, Deer Park, Texas continues to prove why the birthplace of Texas is on everyone's mind. Voted best affordable suburb by the Bloomberg Business Week, Deer Park is home to many businesses and continues to grow in population and industry. With its close proximity to the Houston Ship Channel, Deer Park is home to many industrial leaders like Dow and Shell. Voted in the top 10 most affordable places to live by CNN Money, Deer Park lures many new residents year-round. These residents enjoy the comforts of many retail outlets, recreational locations, and historic sites like the Battleship Texas and San Jacinto Monument. And with a recognized school district that boasts award-winning athletic, culinary, and journalism programs, Deer Park continues to gain the attention of people nationwide. Come see what everyone's talking about and make your next visit to Texas a rebirthing experience in the birthplace of Texas. Don't worry, boots and jeans are optional. Work, stay, play, explore. That's Deer Park, Texas. Uniquely you.
And we welcome you to the Metter Staffing Services postgame show from George Stadium. A very impressive performance by the Spring Lions. They improved to 500 with their 46-19 victory over Deer Park. Down on the field, here's Chase Hernandez with our victorious head coach, Sam Parker.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach Parker, big win for your football team tonight. You were up 21-0 early in this game. Then Deer Park inched their way back, made it a very competitive game at 21-14. What did you tell your team at that point when they were inching back and made it a one-score game?
We just made some horrible mistakes on the kicking game, and they returned a kickoff for a touchdown. And anytime you allow a team to do that, it just gives them so much momentum. And then we got a 3-and-out, I think, right after that, and then they went and scored another touchdown, and it was just a momentum thing. But I thought that our kids fought hard in the second half and played well enough to win. We played a very, very sloppy game. We've got to do a lot better.
We talked a little bit about before the game exactly what you would call your offense. I asked you, I read some things in some papers that saying you ran the triple option, but you came out tonight throwing the football. You ran a lot of the zone read tonight. Just talk about a lot about what worked right for your football team.
Well, we knew that we were going to have some openings. We knew that we were going to have some holes, and we exploited them early. Did a good job in the first 3 drives, obviously with 21 points, and then just kind of lost a little bit of focus going into the second quarter with the momentum swing. But really, we had a lot going for us in the second half. Our quarterback got banged up a little bit, ended up having to bring up the backup, and he played great. He came in and did an awesome job, Robert Whitaker, and scored a bunch of points.
Lastly, we talked a little bit about scheduling in the pregame. You guys played Manville really tough last week. You played a really good Deer Park team tonight. Now district starts, and who you get, the defending state champion in Spring Decatur next week. How big was this win going into that game to start district next week?
It was huge, just for their mindset, just for them to believe that what we're doing is correct. At the same time, we've got a long way to go. And I told you before the game, I'm so glad that we're not peaking early because we have a long way to go. And obviously tonight, I feel great about a win, but I know that I'm going to be just as critical tomorrow as I was about the Manville loss.
Coach, big win tonight against Deer Park. You get tonight. Now you get an extra day to take off tomorrow and rest up for the big game against Spring Decatur. Coach Sam Parker, thanks so much for joining us here on the post-game show. Congrats on the win.
Thank you so much for having me.
Guys, back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Chase. Along with Brent Moody and Jarrell Branch, Michael Silvers back high atop George Stadium, 46-19. Really, there just wasn't a difference between the two quarterbacks in terms of production. And when you look at the 4 quarters that Spring played, they had a pretty bad second quarter, but they played 3 quarters of tremendous football. Brent.
There wasn't much difference in the production, but there is a difference in the quarterbacks. Whitaker, the only time he threw the ball was little dump off passes behind the line of scrimmage. They were not letting him stretch the field and throw down the field. But in terms of production, he came in, filled the void very well, put up more points really than the starter did, and just came in and did his job. That's what you want your backup to do, is just come in and not lose the game.
Drill, what did you sense in terms of differences from the first half, that first quarter, what happened in the second quarter for Spring, and then the entire second half?
It seemed like they just jumped all over Deer Park early, and they had good balance in the first quarter, and then they kind of lost that in the second quarter, and they allowed Deer Park to get back into the game. Once they allowed Deer Park to get back in the game, Deer Park had momentum that it never seen before, and they had a little bit more confidence. Spring recognized that. They went into halftime, made the proper adjustments, and came out and really just put the gas on Deer Park, and Deer Park had no chance to come back.
And if Spring runs into a team that has a return game like Deer Park does, but can also move the ball consistently offensively, Spring's going to be in a lot of trouble if they can't fix what's going on in their kicking game. Their kicking coverage was not good at all in this game, and that's really what kept Deer Park in the game.
But you know what was good? That defense in the second quarter,
yes,
or second half, I should say, holding Deer Park to just 3 points.
Yeah, and really Deer Park, they just flattened and eliminated their confidence. I mean, it's amazing when you can try to do the things that work so well in the second quarter and then do nothing for the rest of the game.
Now, for the Deer, they have 2 more non-district opponents. They get Clear Creek next week, followed up by Dickinson. Then they start district play against Port Arthur Memorial. Back to the drawing board for Chris Massey and his team, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but they've got some things that they can key on. They did outstanding in the return game. They had opportunities where they move the ball on offense. Means did an outstanding job on the bootlegs when they got him out in motion, and he was throwing down the field. He was accurate. He was very accurate when he was in the pocket and trying to just throw the deep bomb. He was overthrown. He was trying to do too much. I think he just needs to get back with his wide receivers and get back into the timing. He overthrew Luna 2 or 3 times when he had just burned the coverage. He overthrew Rutherford a couple of times. The one time he almost hooked up with Luna, it got him right on the fingertips. I think if they just get their timing, there's not a lot of defenses that can cover those 2 wide receivers.
And the Deer Park defense had some trouble with the zone read quite obviously tonight. What do they do to get back to the drawing board in terms of defending the zone read? Because that's pretty much the modus operandi for a lot of teams.
Right, they're going to see that spread offense all year long. And it's just one of the things they have to have chemistry, and that's something that they kind of lacked tonight. We saw a lot of people out there just tackling by themselves, no gang tackling at all, and the core of the game is going to be the chemistry of the team. They just got to come together, regroup. They have the athleticism, they have the athletes, they have the coaches, they have the plays. They just have to put it all together.
A lot of missed open field tackles one-on-one. You got to do a better job, got to be more sure-handed tacklers.
All right, that's going to wrap it up here from Leonard George Stadium tonight. Next Saturday, Woodforest Bank Stadium, the Katy Tigers, fresh off a 48-7 victory last week against the Klein Bearcats. They get A-Leaf Taylor this week. The Woodlands licking their wounds after losing to Dallas Skyline up in Frisco last week. They get a chance against Hightower tomorrow night. But that'll do it here for Deer Park and Spring from George Stadium. All Spring tonight, 46-19. For Brent Moody, Jarrell Branch, Chaser Hernandez, and all of our crew, Michael Silver saying so long from Spring, Texas.